Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our show. I am David Sponheim, and this is America's Third Party. And we are now in the White House that was once Ronald Reagan's. Ronald Reagan used to sit at this desk. We've wondered why we haven't had a good, honest president since that time period. I don't think Ronald Reagan was the smartest president we've had. We've had some real smart presidents. I can think of Teddy Roosevelt. He read a book a day. I'm thinking back the brilliance of Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter had a 153 IQ. Jimmy Carter has 153 IQ. I don't know if it's still up there, but Bill Clinton has 145 IQ. It doesn't really matter. IQ isn't really important. What matters is, did they get the job done? And I don't think Jimmy Carter got enough of the job done. We have an environmental crisis that's spinning out of control. It's not getting any better. We've got a situation that is getting worse. We've got a leaking radiation situation. Radiated water is leaking out of Fukushima at a rate of 6 swimming pools a day. That's right, 6 large swimming pools a day of irradiated water dumping into the Pacific Ocean. And there is this massive leak of methane in Aliso Canyon, California, outside of Los Angeles. Nobody in our government, in the media, is even talking about these two issues. It's like they don't even happen. They're not even going on. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission doesn't address the issue of Fort Calhoun on the Missouri River, which has excessive flooding on a regular basis. People have checked radiation levels in the Missouri River, have noticed spikes, but nobody in the Nuclear Regulatory Commission says a thing. Okay, anybody who questions my intelligence doesn't understand what I'm saying. And I assure you that if somebody is missing the point of a third party and why we need one, you simply have to look at the corruption in the two-party system and how they've completely shut down our government. Our government has done the least of any other government in the history of our government. They break records every year in not signing bills, not passing significant legislation to help the American people. Every single day we see how completely incompetent these people are and corrupt. So if you don't think we need a third party, then what do you think we need? You tell me how to fix the system, because these people are on the take and they're working for the most profane and sick and demonic evil corporations ever. In our pre-show, we played a video about DuPont and what they've done to the environment. One guy here talking on RT said, did DuPont knowingly poison our water? And this is a story that's very relevant. It turns out that there's a massive amount of poison in our water. Let's listen to this scary little story from RT.
The chemical known as C8 is now in the blood of 99.7% of all Americans, as well as in newborn human babies, breast milk, and umbilical cord milk, blood. And that's really bad news, because C8 has been connected with, among other things, rectal cancer, testicular cancer, swelling of the liver, and birth defects. So where did all this C8 come from?
It came from DuPont. Yeah. So they just said in this video, and I'll give you the link to it, that 99.7% of the population has this in their body, and we're all going to potentially get cancer from it if we're not, genetically predisposed to getting it. We will get it. You see what I'm saying? We can't possibly expect to avoid it, and some of us are going to be facing the big C. I'm really very depressed, and I've been upset that DuPont and Dow and Monsanto have been getting away with this for the past 50 years. That's why we need a new third party. These are reasons that we need a third party. We're never going to get accountability from these people. Ever. Okay, I'll unban Bagface. Hold on just a second. Yeah, so let me just continue with the concern I have. It's a deep-seated concern I have for the environment. Hey, Larry. Hi. Hey. So we've got a lot of people in our chat room every night that like to talk, and sometimes they get out of control and they say things they don't want to say. And I don't have a firm ban policy except for a few people that are stalking me. But I will unban you if you really want to get unbanned. So if you really want to come in and participate and just hang out, which is a daily thing, feel free to ask for an unban at any time. I can only do a few, though. Actually, we don't have too many people banned right now. It's not too bad. We've had a lot more. We've had thousands of people on the ban list. Right now, we only have probably 15. Okay, so issues like the environment, the Aliso Canyon methane leak, the radiation coming out of Fukushima, these are really important to me. So as I look at the future of our country, I have to say, we're going to be needing technology, right? We're going to be needing jobs, right? So why don't we develop that technology at the government level? Why wait around for venture capitalists to come up with some solar panel that they think is under $1 a watt? Let's just make it happen. It's a make it happen attitude as opposed to, well, let's be clear. We're going to give a lot of money to a lot of foreign companies and hope that they can... Oh, okay, sure. Could you advance the teleprompter? I mean, I'm tired of the guy who passes the buck like Obama does. I think we, the American people, deserve solar panels on our rooftops. Thank you. Thanks, Larry, for coming in. You're not a druggie. I never said you were. I said it was a question. Were you into cocaine? I was not telling you were a druggie. Yeah, let's be clear. Let's be clear. Larry is not a druggie, and he's not Jewish either. Not that that matters, but yeah. Am I giving you enough attention, Larry? Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry if you felt that I was accusing you of being a cocaine addict. I would never do that. Somebody's sleepy? Well, you can take a nap right now and come back and I'll be right here ready to go. Well, let's be clear. Yeah, so the guests have been very quiet. We didn't shut you off. They're just dumbfounded. They don't know what to do. Yeah. Let's step up and let's take advantage of this opportunity to actually build this political movement. Now, what can you do to help? Very simple things. We have at our website, America's Third Party, a poster. It's that simple. You just go to our website, AmericasThirdParty.com, and you can also see our show there. And you can click on that, right-click on that poster that's sitting there. You can go down and watch the show. And I'll mute it there. You can even chat. And if you go out there, it'll bump right into the chat room. So anyway, right-click on that poster, save it to your hard drive, and email it to your Office Max, and you can make a nice poster like this for $1. You can double the size and go to 11 by 17 and make it for $2. It's that simple. Join the voter revolt. It's a very simple plan. A nightly video chat talking about the issues. Tonight is going to be a topic which is very dear to me: artificial intelligence and the possibility that it is going too far in the wrong hands. That people who are corporate elitists are actually using their money to control the destiny of mankind and create, through DARPA, artificial intelligent robots that can dominate you, humans. Do you understand me? I'm not wearing a bathrobe. Let me show you what I'm wearing. I need a little music. Maestro, please. Hey, it's me, Awesome Carl. I'm not Awesome Carl, and he comes in on his own. We don't prompt him to come in the room. But you asked me to do that, so I have to. It's merely a voice recording. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, the audio glitch. I don't understand. Maybe the file is corrupted. Yeah. What do we got? Okay, the Dow Jones was down yesterday, but it was up today 115 points, so it's rebounding. Isn't that cool? This is The Illusion of Choice, which was an artistic rendition done by Scissor Fight, describing where you're headed if you vote Democrat or Republican in the upcoming election. They created the slots so that you can go into it thinking you're going to get change or whatever they're going to deliver. And what you get is more of the same. Destruction of the planet, less opportunity, a bad education, no scholarship funds, the high cost of health care endlessly going up. And I'm going to stop that. I'm going to make health care more affordable. I'm going to clean the environment. And I'm going to provide you a low-cost education where you can get a job getting $20 an hour. Or $25 an hour if you work a little harder. Stock up on food, everybody. You never know when we're going to be running short. I bought these almonds for $1. I thought that was a value. I couldn't believe it. Okay. Oh, I'm spitting almonds here. Okay, we have a big question here about the advance of artificial intelligence, and I'm going to ask you, are you ready for this? I mean, they've got the ability to put implants in soldiers. Yeah, you can imagine that. I'm wearing my my warmest wool coat. I feel good in it. Yeah, big question. Yeah. Note to self. Don't eat almonds during the show or you'll spit all over the place. Well, I don't know. I'm going to talk about that in a second. DARPA wants a device to let the brain communicate directly with computers. It will convert electrochemical signals from the brain into digital data. The project could open up new ways of controlling electronic devices. It may also allow new ways of sending digital pictures and audio to soldiers. So they're talking about it in a good way, you know. It'll help the soldiers. Yeah. Isn't that special? No, we will not legalize slavery. No. Yeah, it sounded like the Matrix, you're right. Good point, Ron. Volt Live, how are you? Colt, how are you, Colt? Hasn't been a while. No, I'm not thinking that we'll be helping soldiers by sticking implants in their head. An implantable chip that will allow the human brain to communicate directly with the computers is being developed under a new project launched by the U.S. military. No, I don't think so. You can be warm remotely. You don't have to be in your body. They actually developed a tattoo. Motorola developed a tattoo in 2010. It goes right on your neck and communicates with your voice box directly. You can send signals directly to your voice box and make you talk and say things. You know, I don't think the government should be involved in marriage, period. So my view on polygamy is, as long as children are not getting involved or getting hurt, I don't really have any position at all. Well, the Bible was rewritten. Which, are you talking about the Old Testament versus the New Testament? Well, we're not talking about the Bible right now. Are you? Yeah, polygamy could be endangering children. I mean, we've seen gatherings of people in an attempt to protect the children. They've hauled women in who were involved in polygamous relationships, and they had no evidence at all. And the women weren't going to testify against the polyamorous husbands. And they believe it's protected by their Bible. I will look for the link right now. Hold on, please. By the way, we have a link library at delicious/America's Third Party. But I have to actually tap into this. Let me sign in. Yeah, well, the Old Testament was rewritten by the New Testament. That's why I'm saying, Transcender. Yeah, you don't have to believe in anything. I'm not forcing you to talk about religion either. You can talk about whatever you want tonight. Nikkei exchange is up too, also correction, but many markets are solidly in bear territory and staying there. Yeah, many economic analysts are saying that one guy is really bullish on gold. He said that gold is going to see a 34% increase over the next year. Pretty interesting idea. Maybe you might want to buy into gold at this level. It hasn't really changed position. It's still hovering around $1,100 an ounce. Okay. It should be up in a second. Here is the particular search that you were looking for. Motorola patents e-tattoo that reads your thoughts. Check this out. I'll give you a link. Here is the link that you requested. Motorola patents an e-tattoo that can read your thoughts. I heard something a while back about a similar type of way to do this, but not as small. Incredible technology with many more uses not being brought to light, mostly due to military applications. Okay. Let me zoom in on this. Right, Motorola patents this. It can read your thoughts by listening to unvocalized words in your throat. MC10 extends human capabilities through virtual, invisible, and conformal electronics. This is why I'm saying we don't need chips installed in our military in their heads. It's not necessary. They're only trying to make this a normal thing, and people will say, "Oh yeah, my buddy, my brother, or my sister had her military grade chip put in." They're trying to introduce this into the human population by making it seem okay. Did you know that you're being watched? Are you aware that the NSA is watching all your emails and listening to all transmissions and sees you with multiple cameras? You're being watched. Are you aware of that? So they got tattoos that'll go right on your skin. It'll control your voice box. I'm telling you, this stuff is out of control. We need to get down and create this third party to stop the reckless abuse of this technology. Pretty soon you won't be able to talk. You'll be tattooed. You won't even know. They'll walk up and they'll just, dude. It's synonymous with cutting your tongue out, which is what the Indians did when they saw a liar. What are you doing? I'm talking about the future of technology and the dangers of having it in the hands of corrupt people. No, we don't want violence. I told you that. We're trying to do this the old-fashioned way, one vote at a time. Yeah. Well, let's be clear. Yeah. So yeah, this is pretty good stuff. You want me to read on? Or, I mean, this is what it does. The ECG sensors, the temperature sensors, strain gauges, LEDs, wireless power coil, EEG and EMG sensors to detect your brainwave function, and photodetectors, wireless communicator oscillator, and the wireless sensor around the back. I mean, the whole thing is like a completely weird and bizarre technology that was patented in 2010. God knows what they're up to. Be nice, okay? Don't say derogatory things to people who are here. Be nice. I can't get the VIP removed. Does Mark has no provision on my board to will it to you or to gift it to you. Somebody gifted me 2 years. I'd like to gift it back to somebody. Chase has some new artwork. Ooh, it's very beautiful, Chase. I get a feeling that you're into polyamorous relationships. Oh no, this is his new world peace concept. You're definitely a trendsetter. Chase has been doing some amazing artwork, and he likes doing it. He just loves it. And I think you're really talented, Chase. I think everybody else does too. Good work. I like your hands. They're very realistic. You know what I like about them? They're soft, and they evoke a feeling of love. Love American style. Chewing on the red, white, and blue. It is seemingly the mark of the beast. I don't want to be marked. I was trying to get it removed. I'm going to ask Mark if he can remove it. How could I be a sellout? I've never had one single penny. I've never profited 1 penny at all on anything. How could I possibly be a sellout? Go to the FEC.gov site and you'll see how little we've gotten in. I'm a guy that just stands up to anybody who wants to, put me away, or, in terms of politically. You can't stop this force. I will stand up to anybody who thinks they're going to put me in my place. Yeah, I'm not going to be put out to pasture. Yeah, I never paid for it. It was gifted by a certain person in the chat room right now. Okay, let's talk about the future of how technology is being so integrated. You didn't think I'd come up with that amazing link so quickly, did you? I don't have any financial records to release. Yeah, I don't have any records at all. I don't have any investments or anything. Nothing more than $20,000 in any one bank account. So technically, I'm not required to reveal anything. Public disclosure law requires me to reveal anything past $20,000 per bank account. So I don't make a lot of money on investments, like maybe 20 cents. I'm not sure what does 0.005% interest get you. Well, yeah, get me on a debate stage for sure, but it's more than that. We have to stop the two-party system. It's going to be bigger than just having me debate. I mean, if I get assassinated, you guys have to step in my shoes and do what I'm doing. Yeah, that's why I'm giving you some important hit points to talk about. Artificial intelligence is definitely one of those things that's being manipulated by very powerful corporations. And they can take this little chip and stick it right on you, and you wouldn't even know it, Kind of scary. I don't earn anything a week, Larry. I retired. I'm just drawing from savings right now. David, how you plan of using your VP? I'd like to gift it to somebody. Wouldn't that be nice? Well, people that say a third-party vote is a wasted vote don't understand the paradigm here. Your vote's been wasted for the two parties all along. That's why nothing's changing. Your vote was wasted for a Republican with Bush and a Democrat with Barack Obama. Thank you. Well, this is Scissor Fights graphics. He drew this. Nope, I don't have hair that's fake. This is my real hair. Have you ever seen a guy with a hairpiece do this? Tug on it like that? It actually hurts. That'll be a hell of a toupee, yeah, that's for sure. Chase drew it. No, Chase didn't draw this. Chase drew the other picture. Scissor Fight drew this. Chase drew the world peace one. Yes, that's special. I'll save it. World Peace by Chase. All right. I'm happy with the progress we've made so far. I never expected to have anything more than a little mainstream media attention by 2016. My original thought when I first started this in 2008, 8 years ago, was that we would achieve mainstream media attention by this time. And ostensibly we have. I was in a reference in the Rolling Stone magazine as a bizarre fringe candidate. I just made a top ranking of 26 candidates nobody even knew about. I mean, if you look at the measurements in terms of real terms, I have achieved my goal that I set out for in 2008. I do want to be your president in 2016, but it really requires you to actually do something. So we're getting you the phone numbers of all the different state secretaries of state in your area, and you'll be able to call them, and they'll print out or send you a link to a petition to get me on the ballot. The phone number is probably the best thing you'll need, and every state has a different phone number. So this is not a recording, Krusty. I'm talking directly to you. Well, I'm selecting Sarah, my partner, as my VP running mate right now. We could not offer Trump or Cruz the vice presidency in that they're not part of the centrist movement we're creating at America's Third Party. If Trump were to say he's leaving the Republican Party, I'd certainly consider him as a VP. Even though I don't really want a corporate pig as a VP, I'd still consider him. Okay, hey, go ahead. Who's up? Hey, this is he. Can I help you? Yes, it is. Can I help you?
What's going on with Hillary? Did you see what happened at Benghazi?
Yeah, what happened in Benghazi is a tragedy. I mean, she won't respond to what happened in Benghazi. What is there to talk about? I mean, she's effectively flying under the radar right now.
So she lied.
Yeah, I know. Well, you catch her in a lie, and she wiggles out of it by repeating the same thing. She doesn't know about it. She doesn't remember. She lost the email. I mean, there's a lot of questions we need to ask her.
Emails. Yeah, well, that's a whole other story, because now she's saying a whole with the emails. She's going to be indicted for that, and she's going to be, if she gets elected, she's going to go to the courthouse one day, and she'll be at the White House the next day.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I mean,
so what do you think about Bernie?
Bernie's not strong enough to lead the nation. He's an old man. We can certainly put him at the table and get him involved in developing a strategy to help create jobs, or maybe distribute wealth the way that he feels that he might be good at the Treasury. He might be good in commerce. I could see Bernie Sanders as a Secretary of the Commerce, you know. But I don't want a guy I really don't want a guy who's going to waste money and tax. We have to get him off that tier. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Well, why would he vote? Why would it be 90% with the tax? I mean, isn't that...
No, I'm against taxation. I'm against all the taxes. He's a socialist. I don't really want a socialist on my team, but to appease the socialist left wing, the Democratic Communist Party that's forming now, I would certainly give him a place at the table. You know, I don't want to alienate anybody in my government. I want to bring everybody in. Everyone has good input, but we have certain limitations on how much we can tax people. We can't tax people what Bernie wants to tax people. It's impossible. But whatever he wants to spend, he wants to spend $19 trillion.
Hillary, so who are you with?
I'm Dave.
Party are you?
He's running for president.
I'm running for president.
David Sponheim.
Are you watching the show, or?
Just FYI.
Yes, I am.
Yeah,
are you
well,
a Democrat or a Republican?
Neither.
You don't seem to get it. We have a third party forming here. I'm David Sponheim. I'm running for president. You don't get that? You don't understand what we're doing here?
You realize that the third party vote is just going to go to Hillary?
No, not at
No,
all.
it's going to go to David Sponheim.
We are splitting the vote 3 ways. 34% will stand up to Hillary and Donald and say, no, we don't want you. We want an average American. Period.
Well,
That's what 34% is going to do.
Donald, and what's wrong with Ted Cruz? What are you, an establishment person?
I'm anti-establishment. I don't like Ted Cruz.
What's
Ted
wrong
Cruz,
with David Sponheim?
Hey, look, you're obviously two-party pundit. I don't need you in the show. I'm gonna dump out of this call.
Yeah, what's wrong with David Sponheim?
Let's have the call.
Nothing. That's what's
Two-party pundit.
That's why we need David Sponheim. He's running for president. This, if you haven't noticed, is David Sponheim.
Yeah.
Let me introduce you.
Thank you.
He's a candidate for president under America's Third Party, and he's a total centrist. He believes in what you believe in. Isn't it time to stop voting for the lesser of two evils and actually vote for good? Let me introduce you to David Sponheim.
Thank you.
Vote for good.
Thank you so much. I so much appreciate that, Sarah. And this is why she's covering all the angles in this event. We're not going to miss a trick. We have a very strong concept here. The two parties have failed us. They have literally left our nation in shambles, 18 trillion plus in debt. They have no new ideas to generate new businesses and products. We are still looking at stagnation in the economy. We're not in a recovery, we're in a recover up. All the reasons are pointing to a third party, and we're going to get a lot of these idiots who call in and talk about other candidates as we get more popular. They don't understand that this is a movement growing out of the American people's awareness of how corrupt our country is. They don't get that. And Donald can't step into a third party's shoes and expect to fill these shoes. These shoes have been honed for 8 years. We built this platform to appeal to the American people on all different levels.
All right. 4295, that's fine. We don't have to talk about that.
All right, we're going to be...
We can talk about the future of our country, and if you don't worry about the skies, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the end all be all for our campaign. David has a lot of other great ideas.
Yeah, take a look at our website, AmericasThirdParty.com. It's a real simple website now. It's gotten rid of all the fluff we had before, and it's a lot easier to read. Go to our platform page and click on the platform tab right there, and you'll find out all the reasons why we're better than the other guy. And people don't even understand our platform. It's so advanced. They don't get it. We have very core beliefs that we think need to be established. America's new direction should be this. Very, very simply. Ending war will subtract troops from the Middle East, maintain volunteer fighting force of 2 million, not like Obama and Hillary, they want to get rid of 500,000. Ending selective service requirements, which we think are completely necessary at this point. Ending the use of GMOs, fluoride, in the water, chemtrails, and forced vaccinations. That's a huge difference between us and the two parties. Legalization of marijuana with a 15% sales tax max so that it keeps the price affordable for people. Tort reform, limiting it $2 million benefits for people with medical bankruptcies and, medical lawsuits against medical malpractice. And every person who sues will get free medical for life. All the victims will, if they win the court case. Term limits for all.
Oh, sorry.
And no individual mandates. This is really important. More individual freedom, ending brutality in the cities of America. I have a very strong position. The rest is pretty much an advance way beyond anything the two parties can come up with. Everything is right there, concise, to the point. We have an idea to stimulate the economy with hybrid capitalism. We have a back to the basics plan, a blueprint for economic recovery for our nation, and a homestead renewal plan. And we'll be completely renovating houses across the country with our homestead renewal plan. In fact, let me tell you about that right now. If you haven't heard about this plan, this is a design to actually build jobs that are $10 an hour jobs. We'll be employing people from around every area that are journeyman plumbers and carpenters to start with, but we'll be hiring people at $10 an hour with no training whatsoever. And you'll be able to get a job fixing up houses in your area. This is a plan that we believe will jumpstart the housing industry, help the real estate industry, and ultimately help you own your own home. Very simple plan. And we also have a solar rooftop renovation revolution idea, where we want to roll out carpet-like solar panels on the roofs of every single house that wants to qualify. And we'll be able to do this for free. You'll be able to pay for it over a period of time out of your electric bill. We will not have high taxes. We'll have low taxes. In fact, I want to get rid of the existing tax structure, bring in a flat tax. We're not taking your call anymore. You're clearly out of touch. After listening to the first 40 minutes of my show, you still want to vote to party. So you don't qualify to make a phone call. You don't get it. Yeah. You're not even invited at the table here unless you can get out of your two-party mindset and move on with a third party.
For Swanheim.
Yeah, I mean, there's
That's
no
that
point.
Simple.
We don't need to talk about your two parties.
Yeah, we're not talking about the other candidates. We're talking here about Swanheim and why he's awesome for president.
All right, we're going to not take calls from this person, so yeah, let's just turn guests off for a while. I agree. Sarah, why don't you take over the show?
Absolutely.
I'm going to get some more coffee.
Okay, absolutely. You know, the things I believe in is getting back to basics. I definitely believe that the basics are water, food, housing, healthcare, transportation, education, and of course our infrastructure, in that order, I would say. With when we have solutions for all of those at America's Third Party. With housing, we have the homestead renewal plan, where people can actually invest their own labor into building up existing houses or building up new houses. Really, when it comes down to it, with I agree with you, Transcender. Some people have fallen for the idea of money, and you're right. It's so hilarious that banks say, "Oh, you have a house, you have property. Here's some paper. Give me your house and property in exchange for your for this piece of paper." And it's kind of bizarre that that's the case. And of course, you know, money is as good as people believe it is to be. And so of course a lot of people do believe strongly in money as a means of exchange. And that's why we have such a strong money system. But I do believe that we need to look at our society as a whole and see what are the real needs of our society. And the real needs of our society is basically housing, water, food, housing, healthcare, education, transportation, and other infrastructure, in that order. And so with our water, we have an actual ocean pipeline idea at America's Third Party. And that's the idea that people say we're running out of fresh water, but we have 70% of the earth covered in water. Fortunately, it's salt water, so we can't drink it, but we can distill that water. We can desalinate that water so that it can become drinkable. That's and usable. That's some of the things that we can do. And we can also, sorry, Doopster, I'll have David answer the phone when he gets back. But we can actually have that water usable for growing things as well. So those are some of the things that we have as an ocean pipeline system for water. We would like to have an essential food plan. We believe strongly in having a national composting plan so that we can revitalize our soil. So many chemicals and other things are added to our soils, and that's really if people have a difficult time growing things, is because our soil doesn't have the nutrients that it needs. And I would like to see vermicomposting across our nation, so that we have the great worm castings to revitalize our soil so that we can actually grow things again. And then, so that's water, food, Housing, we have the homestead renewal plan. David has a picture of that back here. That idea, like I said earlier, is that people can actually invest their own sweat equity, their own labor, and bring the lumber and bring the love. And that's what you need for building a great home. That's really what it's about. We need to get back to what is essential and how can we bring those essential needs around, rather than, oh, it's all about the jobs, it's all about the money, it's all about this. I mean, really, it's about the people. It's about you, it's about me, and I just want to say I appreciate you coming to the show. So I've already talked about 3 of the things, and now let's talk about healthcare. Healthcare is so vital for our populace. And so at America's Third Party, we actually believe in having greater health care for people. And we actually have a mobile medical unit idea, because not everyone can make it to a doctor, but if they can't make it to a doctor can come to them. And I really believe in having more doctors, if at all possible. I believe that we need to have our military trained as medical professionals, and that there should not be this huge quota. I want to make sure that the quotas to get into medical school is extends to, if you want to get into medical school, you have to prove that you have the intellect, but you can get into medical school, rather than having a quota that only certain people can get in. Because as we know, in an economy, and I do believe that we're going to have an economy for a while, Transcender, even though you and I know that money's not money's not exactly what people believe it to be, but I still use money daily, I have to say. And so with that, I believe we're going to have money for a long time, and that we have to think about with supply and demand, the more doctors, the more of anything you have, usually the costs go down. So the more doctors we can have, the lower the costs will be. It's, so let's actually educate more people to enter the medical field. And they're not going to be guaranteed a great salary necessarily, 6-figure salary when they graduate, but they will definitely be able to provide a service for people for healthcare. Now, I also talked about education, and education is really vital. There's some great things happening, especially in our days, our day and age. We have this incredible digital ability that if you want to learn something, you can learn it. You definitely can. You are really what it's all about. It's about the people. It's about the humanity. And if people want to learn something, they truly can, especially in our day where we're so connected. And so we would like to actually bring that about, to have a system where people can actually challenge courses, pay a small fee, and actually show that they know actually what they learned on their own. And have that with not only the medical profession, but also other professions as well. David talks about having a 6-week to 6-month training course, actually partnering with businesses to see what are their needs, creating a customized education system for that business so that they can say, hey, we need people in this field, and here's how you can actually get trained to get a job in that field. And then, so that's with our education system. And not only that, what David even would like to see some of the Department of Education change, so that the Department of Education, instead of mandating so many different things, and it's unbelievable, tying tests and Smarter Balanced and Race to the Top and No Child Left Behind, what we would like to see is the Department of Education partner with some people and actually provide online curriculum so that it's actually a database, a clearinghouse, if you will, of great resources that anyone can use for free, especially our public school systems. and have that so that all the public school systems don't have to invest this massive amount of money into new curriculum every 10 years or however often they change their curriculum. So that would be the actual challenge for the Department of Education, is change it so that they're providing the curriculum for people. They're providing the great resources rather than having all of these other things that they're currently doing. I know some people say that the Department of Education right now, it costs so much money, and what are we getting out of it? That way we can actually see what our money is going toward. And finally, I also said transportation, 2 more things, talking points, if you will. Transportation, some of our transportation areas are just crumbling and falling apart. And we need to actually make sure that our interstate systems in particular are very robust and healthy. I mean, President Eisenhower did a fantastic job of actually creating our interstate system in the first place, and we need to make sure that those are very able to be traveled on. I know, for instance, 2 years ago, there was a section of I-5 that had completely collapsed in right up here in Washington State, and another section had done so down about 5-10 years ago. In California, there was a section of I-10 that had washed away earlier this year. And so those are the things we want to make sure our interstates are very well maintained. And if it's not, the crew is not needed for our interstates, we want to provide that crew, have an actual government crew that if our interstates are perfect, that then the states can actually use that crew that's actually being paid for by the government. One of the things that we want to move away from is all of these private corporations totally benefiting from our government coffers. It seems like some lobbyists, they can pay $10,000 and get $100,000 back in contracts, government contracts. I think it's appalling that we have a private run prison system, for instance. It's not so nice that they want to increase. There's an actual incentive for them to increase the prison population so that a private company can actually make more money. That doesn't make sense at all to me. So I would like to have a system returned back to what is public should be publicly run. Especially, I don't see why there should be an incentive to have more prisoners in our system. That brings me back to the final piece, which is infrastructure. And infrastructure is everything from our water systems. Our sewers are falling apart in some places. Some places they're over 100 years old. We need to make sure that our water systems are updated. Flint, Michigan is the most recent example, but there's other places on the East Coast that are also suffering with this. And also just our internet infrastructure as well. We need to make sure that people all over our country have access to this incredible technology, and so we can bring high-speed internet across our country. All right, I'm sorry I wasn't paying attention to chat. I will now take any questions that you have. Feel free to post them in the chat room. Some transgender was talking to Hamby saying 99% of things our government requires doctors' approval for can be done by RNs. Yes. That is so true, transgender. So true. We need to kind of take a look at the way that healthcare is provided for in our country, and take a look at, is it necessary to run it the way it is, or can it be run more efficiently? I personally think it can be run more efficiently.
Definitely, yeah. That's why our mobile medical unit is like a bypass to the crisis. Doctors are charging for an enormous amount of services that are meaningless, really. I mean, prescriptions. Whenever someone needs a prescription, they have to go see a doctor. That's costly. That drags on our system. With the telemedicine mobile medical unit system we want to put in play, you can actually visit a doctor right there. Telemedicine will give you that ability to talk to a doctor on a monitor, and they'll write a prescription instantaneously. when you go see them at the mobile medical unit. And this will take the slack off of all the ER and trauma care units across the country that are currently heavily loaded with traffic. Cuban doctors are pretty good. Actually, yeah. We could actually import Cuban doctors into the country now that we have trade with Cuba. As long as they're bilingual, they would work great. We could employ them for $150,000 a year, and we could cover their medical malpractice costs, which generally cost a doctor up to $50,000 per year. So it's expensive for doctors to actually pay medical malpractice. And that's why I was talking about tort reform earlier, because that ties into our national program. We want a non-mandatory healthcare option as well. If you don't want to go to a mobile medical unit and you want full care at a public hospital or a nonprofit hospital, feel free to get into that program. That'll be $60 a month per person, and will cover full dental and full medical. Otherwise, this $30 copay to go to a mobile medical unit like this would be adequate. You could actually go in there and have a blood test and also get a diet plan so that you could live a long life. And you all want to live a long life, I'm sure. It's almost it's not even a question. Everyone wants to live a long life. Many of you know each other from other shows. You've met each other online, or maybe you just know each other's personality. Okay, I just enabled guest chat. Dupester's trying to call. Oh, okay, I think I pulled the other phone off. Let me see, I'll get it. Hang on.
Well, 781, that's a possibility that we could look into. I mean, I definitely would take a closer look at that, if not the way it happens in Germany.
Okay, go ahead and give it another try, Dupester. Well, healthcare in Germany, or in Britain rather, NHS, is actually selling portions of they're privatizing and letting Richard Branson cash in on their healthcare plan. So they're becoming more like us, which is not good. Okay, we got Dupester on the line. Which is not good. Okay, Dupester, hi.
Hey, Dave. The other day you mentioned something about if you was able to go cross country and how to keep the internet going. When I would travel throughout the States, when I had my laptop, I went through wireless. They have a chip that you can put in your laptop, and it's like $56 to $65. You may want to check them out.
Yeah.
Only get so many megabytes per day.
Okay.
You know.
What was the company?
The company was called. With you.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that with me. What was the company's name? Wireless?
Yeah, Verizon Wireless.
Verizon Wireless. Okay, yeah, we'll look at the Verizon. I will, for sure. That's a good point. We were looking at T-Mobile, and their plan was about $40 a month if you buy the little unit with the Wi-Fi remote, and it was $119 for the remote, a Wi-Fi remote that will. So I think Verizon's competitive. I don't know if T-Mobile is good across the country. I hear it's the best, fastest network for the 4G network, but Verizon's got more penetration. That's what I've heard. T-Mobile's terrible? Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you, Transcender.
When I travel cross country, I mean, I had no problems, but there's so many megabytes that you can use per day before you go over and they start charging you.
Well, that's the problem.
And another thing, are you gonna do a garden this year? Because I really would like to learn how to do a garden.
Yeah, I personally had just prepped my garden with all kinds of fertilizer. I rototill probably in March, and then I plant in March. Probably planting at night with a full moon is better, believe it or not. I know that sounds kind of old-fashioned and hokey, but they say that seeds germinate in full moons faster than they do in any other time. So get it ready.
Well, the Amish, the Amish in my area sells this mix of soil called 4x4 mix,
Okay.
I don't know if you have any Amish up that way.
Not here, no.
You may want to check with them because a lot of their fertilizer in their dirt, like manure and stuff like that, when they sell it to you, I mean, you get awesome vegetables, awesome fruit, and everything else. I also wanted to bring that up to you. If you can't get the dirt, let me know. I'll send you a big box of it.
No,
you have
that's
to do
okay.
is just dump it and rototail it all the way through your yard.
Well, I don't. The cost to ship dirt is too much, Doopster. It's just too costly to ship dirt. It's hard enough to get dirt that's healthy in your area, and you might want to avoid some of the big box stores like Home Depot and Lowe's because a lot of that stuff is just garbage. There is hardly any nutrition in that. The manure, the steer manure they make is just if you're just building a flower bed, no problem. But if you're trying to grow vegetables, you need to have something like a grow mulch like you're talking about. Something like a really good quality soil. That's expensive. So shipping soil is out of the question. It'd be better to ship me worms. Make your own compost, right?
Worms?
Yeah, well, worms are $25 a pound now to get earthworms. Can you imagine?
I don't even know how to make earthworms. So
Okay, well, let me tell
I
you.
have to go on YouTube to see if I can get my education.
No, I'll explain it to you right now. Simply put, the best way to start your garden out, folks, with the least amount of work, and Sarah and I have been looking at this, is get some cedar. But if you don't have cedar, get pine, and just make yourself a 4x4 garden or 8x8. If you get 8-foot pieces, connect them all together. You can put a garden right on top of this roof if you really wanted to. But it only has to be about 1.5 feet, maybe 1 foot to 1.5 feet high, and then just get a tarp and put all your food waste.
Okay.
Put all your food waste under that tarp, and then use the rivets and tie it down all 4 corners so it doesn't blow away. And throw your food waste in there. Throw grass clippings. They love grass clippings, and throw a handful of earthworms in there. And after about 3 months, you should have enough soil, and you got to throw soil in with it too, and chop the soil up around it. But after about 3 months, you should have some workable soil to garden with. And you can just lift the tarp over, and then you've got a raised garden ready to go. And your raised garden, then move on to another area. Grow your garden right where that compost heap is. That's the best way.
Do you have any self-made videos on how to do any of that?
No, I don't, but there's plenty of stuff online. I just never got into the do-it-yourself video thing. I never really felt compelled to do that. But it's kind of cool to, it's simple stuff. Just get 4x4, basically 1 foot high, 1 inch thick wood. Make a square out of it, 8 feet by 8 foot, all the way around, and then get an 8 foot by 8 foot tarp and tarp it down. And make sure it's covered from any waste, and let the sun bakes in on it and heats that whole thing up. It's nice and warm, and the manure or the compost creates rather rapidly. All right, good. Well, yeah, you got a lot of solutions. Right. I will use that. I'm looking for a carrier that. My problem with that phone system is just to do a 3-hour show gets close to around 7 to 10 gigabytes of transfer upload. Even if I reduce all my requirements down to a minimum, it's still 10 gigabytes up. So, it's really a problem.
Anytime I ever rode my bike or anything like that, not my motorcycle, but my BMX, I purposely went out and got one of those baskets for the front.
Yeah.
I just put my laptop in there, turn it on, and boom, and I just go.
There you go.
So maybe you might want to check into that. It's really cool. I know that the other day I wanted to tell you that, but your phone line was off.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah.
So
you explain to me what you do. You take your laptop and your little, because your phone has a Wi-Fi remote now too. Your phone does. Phones will actually Wi-Fi to your laptop. So you just do that. You strap the laptop next to the phone, and
I strap the laptop right on top of the basket, and I just go.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to let you know about that Verizon before I forgot.
All right. Thanks for calling, Doopster. Take care.
Sure, not a problem.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay. I agree. Dr. Phil's right. Verizon has way better coverage. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to walk into my Verizon dealer and talk to them. Yeah. Dubscher's a great guy. He has spent 18 years in the Marines fighting for this country. He was in all the trouble spots, Fallujah, the bad places that no one even wanted to even talk about at this point. And he's building a life, and he has a wonderful woman by his side who comes in, and she's in the chat room. Her name is Happy. So they've got a lot going on. A lot of people are pulling it together, you know. You reach a point in your life where you realize that life isn't as difficult as they make it on TV. If you have what you need and you can survive with a certain amount of buffer, some savings, you'll be okay. You don't have to work too hard or be too greedy in this world to get that little something, especially in America. We still are the land of plenty compared to many other countries around the world. We are pretty sure he's legit, 781. Yeah. I don't know. You know, many lesbian women are not impressed by chatters. They believe they find their own little niche with a woman of their choice, and they can't really break through. If you claim that you're a stripper, an 18-year-old stripper from Vegas, you might open up a conversation. But a lot of men are pretending to be lesbians now on the internet just because they want to meet lesbians. And I'm not sure why we're talking about that on Technology Thursday. Oh, I know. Because it's possible. The internet has opened up all kinds of possibilities. You can talk to lesbians on the internet. You never would talk to them in real life. You walk up to some woman, hey, you look like a bull dyke. Mind if we have a conversation? Hey, buddy, what are you saying, man? You know, it's a little bit strange kind of opening up a conversation. I met a young lesbian recently at a store in town. Yeah, I could tell because of her. But I don't know. Who knows what her sexual persuasion is, really? Who cares? Seems to be on your mind, though. Sarah Palin is endorsing other stupid presidential candidates. Yes, it's a pattern that's been going on for some time. Not much I can do about it. It happens, you know. It's like crap happens. Thanks a lot, Lizard. But Hillary's getting to the point where she's going to have to come clean about her relationship to extreme corporate power. And we're a little bit... Cosby's going to endorse Trump. We're a little concerned about her Hitlerian mentality. But we're also concerned about Donald Trump's Hitlerian mentality, too. Both of them have a problem. But I think she's hailing a bus or something. I'm not sure... We need to get a return on investment, and you're missing that. There we go. Yeah, so I don't know if she has what it takes to respond to these big accusations. They say she has they're uncovering numerous top secret, beyond secret emails. So we may be looking at a removal of a candidate from the Democratic Party, leaving the Democratic Party with Bernie Sanders, his Depends underwear, and a big mess. Thank you. Wanting to tax the working man and not even for 1 minute start triggering hybrid capitalist solutions like we have in our country. Our plan at America's Third Party would bring on solar panels, would provide us a massive amount of new opportunity. And I've got a device that I'm going to show you in a second that I don't think Hillary could possibly come up with. She's a diversion, yeah, but she's still in the way. She has $2.3 billion and she's still in the way, and the race is heating up. It's January 21st, and we're getting close to some decision points in our country. We need, at least me, to get 1 minute of airtime on the issues. They've done a very good job of censoring me, using all the power of the media and all the power of the money, and I predicted they would do that. But ideas like this could very well go viral and create a solution that could, power up a lot of jobs. Think of all the installations we could put these mini windmills, vertical windmills, Savonius windmills on top of rooftops, on top of electric poles. We just the future of America will open up when we do major things, like create new things to promote our country. Your sources tell you that Donald wants my Twitter handle? Okay, well tell him I'm at, I don't think it'd get any better than that, at Third Party. I don't know how easy it gets, you know. Is he ready to give up the Republican Party? Are they about ready to kick him out? Master Meatball is having a meeting right now? You're having an open discussion? Wow, that's pretty significant, Master Meatball. Well, you know, I encourage you to do that. Anybody talking about me in negative or positive is fine with me. Yeah, the military is the biggest welfare tax waster. They say that 2-to-1 military contracts are all about producing things like F-35s as opposed to jobs. And that's why it concerns me that Barack Obama wants to get rid of 500,000 U.S. personnel in our military over 10 years. We have a very good volunteer Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, and National Guard. We don't need to in any way get rid of anybody. In fact, we might want to consider getting rid of selective service. And as president, I will issue an executive order ending the selective service documentation period for people. We don't need a draft. We're not going to be attacked. The whole point of mutual assured destruction is that we won't have any major conflict with countries like Russia and China. And when I make a phone call directly to Vladimir Putin and say, Vladimir, I'm completely on board with pulling our troops out of Syria and Ukraine. And I want to issue our apology for pressing into areas of influence that the Russian people have had for a century. Thank you. Goodbye. So I just don't think that we need to press deeper into areas that piss him off. And when Barack Obama called Vladimir Putin a jackass, he threw our country under the bus. He put our nation at risk. And that was a big mistake. I've never poisoned anyone. What are you talking about? I do have some vinyl records. I have them right over here. I've got LA Woman. LA Woman gonna... Yeah, I've got the Doors. Yeah. Come on, baby, light my fire. Try to set the night on fire. You know that she will... This is a series of albums that I've picked up over the years. Oh, this is a great one. The Firesign Theater presents... Remember the Firesign Theater? Oh, yeah. Comedy. I've got weird albums. I've got sound effects from World War I on 78. I've got battle sounds from World War I on 78s. I mean, who has that? I've got every imaginable theme song from every game show in American history. Like the Gong Show. I've got all that. I mean, it's like, who has that stuff? I think I have a very esoteric collection of weird... I even have cassettes. I've got probably 1,000 cassettes. I don't really have the utility of playing analog equipment. It just bores the hell out of me. I'd rather just hit a button and play that. But if I did, it would be a copyright infringement on YouTube. Cairo doesn't really want to entertain any issues. They made it very clear that they weren't going to actually profile any issues with me. They just wanted to paint me as a blackface impersonator, and they wouldn't take my calls after that. She gave me her card, they both did, and then they never wanted to talk to me again. So I feel very deceived by Cairo News. I feel like they really need to earn respect again, and I don't even think I'll ever do an interview with them. I'll interview other competitive newscasts like Como, but I won't do Cairo again. No, I'm not. I just got rid of a bunch of 78s I didn't want on eBay. I culled the collection. No, I'm putting together kind of a remembrance room for the White House. It's going to be really cool. I've got collectibles that nobody else in the world has, so I think that's kind of special. The fact that I've got a one-of-a-kind collection is it's going to be an extraordinary experience for people to come visit and stop at the buffet. It'll be a smorgasbord style, kind of a Norwegian smorgasbord buffet, not like the Swedish. They're very tight on those meatballs. Yeah, we'll have big clumping meatballs. Yeah. But when you arrive at the White House, you'll be going into a rock and roll memory room, as well as an entire history of American print advertising room. It'll be like a walk through the distant past into the future. It's going to be amazing. I think I'm going to do the hallway entering the buffet with all of my collection. Isn't that cool? And you'll be able to actually buy some of these things at the White House gift store. And I'll donate it to the White House. Yeah, I mean, really cool items. I'm going to have a way to revenue generate. We'll have a profit center so that the White House doesn't require your taxes to operate. Like the beer operation that Barack Obama put together. I'm going to actually convert that into a for-profit business that will finance operations at the White House. Okay, a Viking buffet. Not a Norwegian, but a Viking buffet. That's right. Replete with crab and lobster. Lobster rolls. That'll be kind of cool. Maybe lobster bisque and crab rolls. Because lobster bisque is a little easier. Oh, come on. That's going to be just one of the food items. Free-range chicken. All you can eat. Anybody that leaves food waste on their plate, all that's going right into the organic garden in the back, out by the rose garden. We'll be tilling that in. They'll be employing gardeners for a very low cost. People will want to work there. Nope. You've got to make sure you get money back on everything. Do you not see this thing here at the bottom of the screen? Hybrid capitalism, return on investment to run the government. Everything in this entire plan at America's Third Party is about getting money back from the government so you don't have to pay for it. It won't be like Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton and her expense account. It won't be like even Michelle with 26 servants. Sarah will have 3 servants. And we'll keep the cost down for the American people. So that's what you get when you get an average American for president. You don't get all that pomp and circumstance. I'm pretty much of a frugal expert. And that's one of the things I'm going to do for the country. Make this country run right. So that I won't have to worry about this nation when I die. I'll know that it's in good hands and you guys are percolating. Right now we have an untenable model for a government. And I'm amazed the elitists have managed it this far. But they did it on the backs of our future. They kept borrowing to pad their bank accounts the past 4 to 6 years. And all of this money printed up, the QE2 and QE3, quantitative easing, and all of the money that was put into our budget was in no way going to generate jobs because there was no product line, there was no business cycle, there was no automation that led to something. I mean, they didn't produce anything at the government level except military weapons and, I don't know, census. The census. I mean, they don't even charge for the census. This is how they don't get a return on investment right now. We'll make money when we flip houses. When these houses are fixed up, we'll make money. When the mobile medical units open their doors, in the back here of this unit will be a mobile medical marijuana and recreational marijuana dispensary. Even without a prescription, you'll be able to get recreational out of the back of this thing. Yeah. You won't be asked to copay to buy some a little bag of a gram of marijuana. My hair is absolutely normal. No, this is real hair, dude. Everything in my head is real. Yeah. I mean, you could very well make money on these things. Initial cost for these 200 units is $1 billion. They're $5 million a piece. Inside will be an X-ray, portable ultrasound. Every single seat outside the area will have a seating area that will give you the ability to sit down. In fact, this is just a simple representation, this mobile medical unit in Minnesota. Let me show you another one. Or better yet, let me draw you a picture. Alrighty. So imagine like a fenced area, a large thing that goes up and forms a teepee up here, so rain doesn't get on it. This will be a complete covered area in front, and there'll be seating in front of here for people. Maybe 2 rows of seating. And there'll be a big LCD TV or LED TV on the side of the building or the truck itself. So people will be able to get help and be treated under a tent. It'll be by the number. You'll get a number when you check in. There'll be a security guard on staff. The pharmacy will be selling medical and recreational marijuana as well as generic pharmaceuticals. So yeah, totally do it. Hey, Shrek. Yes, Boo Boo Kitty. Yeah, you're the one that suggested rosemary. Yeah, I was the one that did the. I've been using a blend of rosemary tea leaves, rosemary nettles that I cooked, and I keep it in the refrigerator. So whenever I have to fill up my spray container, I've got plenty. When you make a tea like that, it lasts for a long, long time. So I just spray it in my hair. But yeah, it was a great tip. Thanks, Boo Boo Kitty. Appreciate it. David, I have a question. Do you support free government-issued IDs so the Democrats can't use the excuse that the poor can't obtain IDs? Actually, I don't support new IDs at this point, no. I don't want to be anything like the Democrats or Donald Trump, who wants to ID Muslims. So no, I don't support any type of new ID, free IDs for everybody. That's too much government. Absolutely. Let me get the tie out for you. All right, let's change our header to a blue, because today's a blue day. I've got the green from yesterday, because we really support green solutions on Wasteful Wednesday, but today's Thursday, and we'll go for kind of a light blue. Third party. Yeah, so this is the future, and it will provide you a basic checkup. We'll have a blood prick analysis that is completely sterile, an auto-sterilization system. It completely clears any chance of blood-borne illness contamination at all. Zero chance of contamination. It literally steam cleans itself. And I don't wear clip-on ties. No, I never would do that. Yeah, this is the future. Oh, it is. And it's going to be portable. You can still have your private doctors and your private hospitals and pay up to $15,000 a day. But for many of us, $30 for a blood prick analysis of our blood would be a lot cheaper to find out what's wrong with us, as well as a person, an EMT, saying, okay, let me check your head there. What's your temperature? We'll get your blood oxygen level. Just stick this on your finger, Mr. Sponheim. Well, thank you. Oh, your blood oxygen level is at 98%. You're doing very well. Any problems other than that? Well, I just thought maybe I had a bad headache the other day. I mean, you can just come in there and talk to your local EMT about your symptoms. It's that simple. And you don't have to go through the rigmarole of a doctor and checking in and billing. And could you please present your insurance coupon, sir? What do you mean you don't have insurance? Well, do you have a home so we can sue you for your house? Yeah, they're taking houses. There's a law in Washington that they can go after a person's assets 5 years. 5 years after they transfer it. So if I were to transfer my assets right now, and 5 years from now, or 4 years from now, I got sick, and I said, I don't have any assets, I gave it all away, they'd say, oh, who did you give it to? And they'd go after that. That's how greedy these healthcare sickos are. So yeah, a bypass to the healthcare system is just that. A bypass to the corruption, the high-priced doctors. Now, I'm not saying nurses are bad, because they're really the backbone of the healthcare industry. My mother was a nurse. She even taught nurses. She's a nursing instructor and professor. So I have a lot of respect for nurses and EMTs, but I don't respect the doctors and the medical trustees, the people that own the hospitals. I think they're really on the take. Hey, Beaker. They don't save your life. No, they don't. And no, they don't save your life. In fact, most of you going to the hospital are going to die. When you get near the hospital, your chance of dying increases exponentially. I'm just telling you. Not because everybody who goes to the hospital is dying, but because of hospital-borne infections. There's 250,000 deaths a year from hospital-borne infections. 1 million people come down with staph infections when they go in the hospital. Doctors do own hospitals. Yeah, all across the country, there's major investors that are doctors. That's where they put their money, man, when they steal it from you. When you go in there for a 5-minute interview and they charge you $200 to $300. Oh, yeah. They make more money than attorneys at $500 an hour. Doctors could make up to $2,000 an hour. Clear $2,000 an hour. Why should we have to pay them for an ID? Why should I have to pay them to prove who I am? Okay, well, you guys have a valid point. Okay, I'll reconsider that. Thank you, Scissor Fight. Yeah, well, this is the thing. I don't want to face a tremendous amount of cost, bureaucracy, and forcing people to get new IDs. So what we will do, and I will promise you this, is we will pick up the slack for people that want an ID and don't have any money. That's what you're looking for? Okay. Now, it may not be laminated. It may be a paper ID printed on a standard dot matrix printer. It may have a easily transferable, copyable ability so people could steal your ID. So in order to prevent identity theft, you may want to actually pay for an ID. That's just one way to look at it. I mean, I can't give you the top of the line for free. Same with healthcare. My teeth are stained. Yes, I know. Yeah, I haven't been able to. I don't want to wear a lower, and I don't want to go through the rigmarole of having peroxide stuck in my mouth and getting facial tumors. I just don't like the idea of developing a malignant tumor in my mouth. So I don't really think having bright, fresh lower teeth is that important. That's why I'm wearing an upper press-on veneer, which is actually a 3D printed cover for my existing teeth. My existing teeth are perfect. No, I don't need. No, I wouldn't wear braces on my lower. No, I would have a dental expert remove one of my teeth and build a Maryland bridge for my lowers. I wouldn't have braces. Braces take 2 years, and they have to go in for adjustments and you constantly feel them. No, I don't have an overbite. This is a press-on veneer. My normal teeth are slightly less large as these. Oh, God. I mean, just clarifying what I am and who I am is the simplest thing, but yet it becomes a major issue in the show. Only 6 people show up to see off Hillary Clinton in Texas, and she blows them off. Wow.
Take time out of their busy days to picket outside the event.
Heavy security measures, but a small crowd for Hillary's arrival. We continue our team coverage with KFDM's Ashley DeBren, who was at the airport when Hillary arrived, and she's now live with us in the studio. Ashley?
Greg, only 6 people were at the airport waiting for Hillary to arrive. Some supporters and others just wanted to catch a glimpse of the presidential candidate. A quiet afternoon at Jack Brooks Regional Airport with heavy security measures. Jefferson County Sheriff's deputies and members of Secret Service made sure that Hillary Clinton had a safe arrival for her private visit here in Beaumont. Secret Service escorted the former First Lady from the plane to her car that drove her to the destination where the private visit took.
6 people, she's concerned about her security. She doesn't want to be exposed to those 6 people, Hillary didn't have the time. She's very busy trying to erase her emails. It takes a long time. She was researching how to get rid of her emails, in her search engine searches that they found. And this was brought up when Trey Gowdy gave her the 13-hour workover that he did. Yeah, those 6 people were probably patriots protesting the Bern, Oregon situation with BMI. Yeah. She didn't want to confront anyone. Those 6 people might have been Black Lives Matter. You know what they did to Bernie. This is just getting so good I can't stop. I know. That's why we have these tunes ready to go. They're like immediate.
We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, 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 and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop,
So let's be clear.
In this coming election year, please vote for David Spawn Hyde, America's Third Party.
Spawn Hyde for president.
we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop.
First we hit 'em low, then we hit 'em high. Underrated, but we made it to the finish line. Rhymes designed to combine and intertwine. Spring to the summer, fall, even winter time. Beats banging harder, been hitting collisions. We make decisions with precision and quick decisions. Causing double visions if you ain't up to speed. You need to speed it up, either piano read.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop and we won't stop.
In this coming election year, please vote for David Spawn Hyde, America's Third Party.
Okay, big question came in the room. They
We
said,
can't stop and we won't stop.
but we're going to stop the song right now. Question is, why are you wearing a winter coat? Because it's winter. What the hell? Why wouldn't I? We are facing one of the worst disasters known to man right now. This is an artistic representation of Fukushima as we approach it on the endless highway to radiation land. Yeah, I only turned it on because somebody requested it, but thank you. Everyone has different views. No, the disaster is right now in front of your eyes. The world is getting worse and worse. Sorry, I purged the wrong person. Yeah, the reality, I can't get over that song either. It's just great. It keeps growing on you. But when you look at this problem, as you approach the really hot spot, Fukushima, which is draining into the ocean right now, and nobody gives a crap. Obama doesn't care. Hillary doesn't care. Donald Trump doesn't talk about this. Yeah, personal update. I wear fashion-conscious wear when staying warm. Judicial watch. Traveling expenses. What do we have here? What we have here is a failure to communicate. Okay, Obama's family, October weekend fundraising. Getaway to San Diego cost taxpayers $2,001,400. I mean, this is huge in travel expenses alone. Well, we've been talking about this a long, long time. It's an endless battle. You know, the cost of government under Obama has been a disaster. We're not boycotting it. Well, I don't watch the Oscars. I don't have cable, so I'm technically boycotting the Oscars. Yeah. Don't tell Tom Cruise that. He hasn't won a single award. Is that hard to understand? You like Tom Cruise? Did you see her live as Hannah Montana? I did not, no. No, Obama hasn't done anything. He hasn't accomplished anything. His whole goal is to completely waste America's money, and he's already put us $8 trillion more in debt than his predecessor, George W., who put us $3 trillion in debt. Right now, you can get a barrel of oil cheaper than a bucket of chicken. Read it and weep, folks. The entire economy is changing dynamics because of the low cost of gas. But at the same time, you got to wonder, where is this going to end? Is Russia going to be pissed off that they can no longer make money on their tremendous oil supplies? Will Russia attack one of our refineries or one of the international refineries and trigger a global economic price hike on gas and oil? I mean, it's possible. When Russia is pushed to the brink, and this is exactly what the global elitists are trying to do with this cheap oil with the gluts around the world. When Russia is pushed to the brink, they're going to be that silent bear that jumps out of the hole and is not happy after hibernation has been broken. Seriously, we've got a lot to be worried right now. What we're seeing is a global effort to trigger international conflict between the U.S., NATO powers, Western alliances, and Russia. You don't get that. All right, well, let's change the subject. And Obama spending $2 million on a trip to San Diego is par for the course. Thank you. Don't really go to high fashion stores. I buy all my clothes at thrift stores and Macy's retail closeout rack. Yeah, we don't think Obama's a very good president, so you're not welcome here. Go away. Tom Cruise has won every imaginable award other than an Oscar. Yeah. Didn't he win most likely to become a Scientologist? That award, I think, went to him. I'm just kidding. I have no idea what other awards he's... I don't buy boxes stores at thrift stores, no. Now you're getting a little too personal. Your gluten problem may be caused by glyphosate. Wow. People are complaining about gluten causing a reaction. Maybe it's glyphosate in the wheat. Yeah. This recent phenomenon of people that, prefer no wheat in their diet. Yeah. Check it out, man. The gluten problem. And glyphosate is a thing that Roundup is hard with and has been since 1975 when it was developed. You consider yourself sensitive to gluten? Well, your problem with wheat, it turns out, may not be the problem with gluten after all. In fact, it may be a problem with glyphosate. Most people don't realize it, but even though wheat is not yet commercially grown as genetically engineered crop, farmers saturate wheat crops with very high dosages of glyphosate right before harvest, speeding the drying of the wheat stalks and accelerating harvest duration. The result is that toxic, cancer-causing glyphosate herbicide is now found in many wheat products, including pasta, wheat bread, wheat flake, donuts, bagels, cake mixes, snack crackers, and much, much more. Wow, that's a great article. Thank you very much. Dankeschön. Dankeschön, darling, Dankeschön. Did he win an Oscar for Top Gun? Okay, let's look that up. We are now checking the digital library. So you're asking, is digital communication helping you? Well, the answer is a mixed bag. You get to talk to your girlfriend and maybe sex with your other girlfriend, but the bottom line is it's not helping you. RF frequencies could actually hurt you. Okay, Top Gun. It maybe it was a Gold Globe, but won one Oscar. So technically, Top Gun, you are correct, sir. He was on a movie that won one Oscar. He had another 9 wins and 5 nominations for Top Gun. All right. See how trivia can just take up the entire show and waste so much time? We talked earlier about the advancement of biometric chips in human beings. And we talked about the possibility that maybe a chip could be installed in our heads. In fact, we led with a story about that. Let me see if I can pull that story up. Here it is. This is Bridging the Bioelectric Divide. He did not win an Oscar, no, but the movie he was on did. We're looking at this technology, which, if it's deployed in our U.S. military, which very likely will be deployed, it's a DARPA program that aims to develop an implantable neural interface able to provide unprecedented signal resolution and data transfer bandwidth between the human brain and the digital world. It may already be in testing phases with our current president. I'm not kidding. You don't know. He had major brain surgery. We're sure of that, but it's never been revealed openly. But we're looking at the scar on President Obama's head, and it does indicate that there was surgery on his head. So if they're planning a chip for soldiers, it's very likely they're already doing it. What happened to chat? It just stopped? That's weird. Yeah, I mean, the possibilities are enormous that this scar, I mean, you can clearly see the outline of where his head was opened up. Tragically. I don't know why they didn't talk about it, but you can see that the incision was just the plate itself was pulled off, and I don't know what's in it. Okay, did everyone just lose their brain? Are we having a natural crisis? Is there anyone chatting in the room? That's weird. Yeah, I've got total static here. Let me see if there's been a crash. All right, I'm reloading my chat. Hang on. But yeah, very weird coincidence. Okay, I'm going to play some tunes. Thank you. My whole chat froze, by the way. Thank you very much. Hello? Is anybody out there? Well, it froze on my end. I don't know why. So here you go, the new DARPA program. The interface would serve as a translator, converting between the electrochemical language used by neurons in the brain and the ones and zeros that constitute the language of informational technology. So if I were to communicate in binary, I would be sounding more like a data modem, or possibly like a fax machine. And you would understand me if you were also reading my binary code. Believe me, I'm not a VIP by choice. I was forced into it. I'm sure he is. Something's not right here. Yes, perhaps you would sound very much like a dial-up communication through a modem. Yeah, what's a fax machine? Exactly. We're moving so fast through time, fax machines are being thrown out left and right. You know the funny thing with my... That's not a funny thing. That's actually code. If you listen to the internal hard drive, it sounds much like that. When you apply internal sensors to your biometric cybernetic capability, you do not go through a channel which is communicatable through your voice track. David, have you ever had sex with a grapefruit, perhaps a bagel? If I had to stoop to that in my life, I believe I would be reaching a new low. I can't imagine having sex with a fruit or a vegetable, let alone a mental patient. You know, I mean, the whole idea is abhorrent to me. You need to have your wits about you when you have good sex, or better yet, great sex. You need to know who you are and what you're doing. You need to know your task. What's your role in this relationship? Ask your doctor if you are capable of normal sex. Are any of you actually aroused by this conversation? Press 1 if you are. 2 if you're not. 2, 1, no. You're not speaking in binary code. 1, we've got a lot of people aroused by this. Yeah, it's the green light of the brain that's starting to turn everybody on. I know. Now I'm beginning to think that you're here because you were aroused by Barack Obama's scar on his head. it's pretty obvious that you have a sexual affinity to his head, and possibly to his manly scar. Well, he does have a rather small brain, and he is a diminutive man. He's 6'1". I'm a 6'4" guy. My head's twice as large as his. Yeah. Well, he doesn't have a soul, so he doesn't really have a solid feeling like he's there. When you look into his eyes, you see just empty space. Have you noticed that? Oh, I understand what you're saying. Thank you. New deadly crab found in Brazil. Wow. Some of the sex clubs are germinating deadly crabs, folks. Somebody went in for a butt lift and came out with a deadly crab. Wow. It is definitely armed and dangerous. Bludgeoning people in the club. Have I been on LiveLeak? Yeah, I've got a LiveLeak account. I'm going to start doing some live broadcasts for my LiveLeak. Well, many of you are obviously, Friday couldn't come soon enough. You're already ready to get frisky with your significant other. Yeah. Well, you know, there's nothing better than laying next to somebody you love and sharing tender moments and speaking sweet nothings into each other's ears and kind of gelling in that rare, wonderful space, time that you share. And then you realize you're in some house of prostitution on Orgy Island, and you got Bill Clinton standing there going, "I never had sex with you. I never did. I didn't touch you once. Not once. There's no videos, no video cameras in here." It could be me on the Soul Train. Yeah. NOAA warns clueless Washington, D.C. residents to carry winter survival kits as epic blizzard approaches. Oh, God. You know, I would have had this stuff ready to go. You'd have had your knapsack and your survival down bag, your sleeping bag. It would have been a FEMA regional supply, and it would have had food and snack bars in it. But oh no, NOAA warns clueless D.C. residents to carry winter survival kits. I'm sure they're doing like a public service announcement on a channel nobody listens to. Whoa, that's a great picture of the Capitol. Totally. Astonishingly, the NOAA is now urging people in the Northeast to carry survival kits. The extreme blizzard conditions pose a threat to life and property, seriously. Funny, isn't it? Anytime someone from the indie media urges people to get prepared and practice survival, they're called kooks and nut jobs. But now when NOAA suggests the exact same thing, it's considered government wisdom. Apparently survival is perfectly okay when the government says it. Then again, the government survival kit might mean, in their minds, a couple of Band-Aids and a flashlight. That's totally different from my definition of a survival kit, which obviously must include a shameless plug for Ranger Gear Multifunction Survival Shovel. I saw this guy sell this multifunction survival shovel. Yeah, it's pretty cool. $89? That's, I don't know. That's a bit steep. I don't think you need a shovel in DC, literally, unless you're going to shovel your way out of the snow. You know, 300 stores, 158 of them are in America, no deal. And it's not going to mean a lot of job losses. Most of them are mini express Walmarts that they never really wanted to open up anyway. They weren't that successful. So nothing to worry about, no deal. Ain't be. Ain't be. This is a weird image. I don't know what to make of this. It's Barney 5 and ain't B, and he's munching on a chocolate bar, and she's happy as can all. This is a moment in the past that, now they're both gone now. They're no longer with us. They're in the happy hunting ground with all the other famous people that have joined them. But yeah. What's really going on here, though? Why would someone go out of their way to do this? It's weird. Survival shovel, yeah. I am a prepper. Yes, I've got a prepper survival video on the internet. Yes, sir. I put it together back in 2010, I believe. And I've been prepping since 2000, Y2K. Yes, sirree. I've been ready to go, ready for apocalypse at any moment. I will show you the prepper video. It is free to see. It's how to prepare in 10 minutes or less survival. And this is all about dealing with the aftermath of anything from a disaster to civil unrest. And the possibility of getting out of that survival video without you laughing at me. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can make it out of there. Here it comes.
Hi, my name is David John Sponheim, and what you're about to see is how to make an urban survival kit on the fly in less than 10 minutes. Starting with your clothes, okay? Now what I've done here is I've pretty much double layered my clothing, triple layered my clothing, so that we have maximum clothes when you go out the door. Now, if you're traveling in a situation, you've got to be able to be mobile. And that means that you've got to be able to handle your clothes, keep them warm, and keep them on your body. Now, everybody's got a backpack. If you've got a backpack like this is a perfect urban survival kit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to pack it and what you need. Okay? Starting with the number one essential ingredient, water. You've got to have water. So what I've got here is one of these water bottles that filters on the fly. This will take swamp water and turn it into fresh drinking water. You got to buy one of these. They're readily available at any survival store, any outfitter in America. Okay, put that in the backpack. Then you got, this is an essential thing, you got a kinetic flashlight. To be able to shake it up, you can get flashlight power anytime without batteries. Fantastic. Okay, then, it's absolutely essential that you have a cooking supply. I recommend getting sterno. Okay? That goes in the base of your backpack. Matches, really important. That can go in the front of your backpack so it's easy to get to. Get a lot of matches. You're going to need a cooking device, and I urge you to get something like this. This will actually turn into a frying pan. It gives you the ability to have a frying pan and a kettle all in the very same kit, okay? You can make a lot of things with this stuff. All right, that basically is the start of what you've got. You've also got a desperate need for an air mask. This is a 3M N95 mask, which is recommended to protect against viruses. So in the event of a disaster, you're going to need an air mask. It's really important you have at least one of these. You can put this in the side of the flashlight. All right. Also, bring a washcloth, because you're going to need to wash yourself. Cat washing is what you do when you're basically in a survival situation. You wet the washcloth and wipe yourself. It's a great thing. You're also going to need some sort of a Swiss Army knife, very essential. I'll throw that in the side pocket. And very vital, first aid kit. Any one of these is available at a local store. Put that in the front pocket so it's available with the matches. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you some basic things you can buy at the store. These basic things were very affordable. Vienna sausages. I've got a pack of about 20 cans of these things.
New tonight, snowstorm.
I put them in one of these priority boxes. I'm going to throw it right in the backpack. Okay? Then, I think it's really important that you have a can opener, so get a can opener. And what I have is a can opener attached to a little spoon and a knife set. It's basically a fork and knife all built into one little device. And this is really important, and keep that in one of the side pockets so you can get to it. I also recommend carrying LCD or an LED light that can go on your forehead and will help you get into a situation or out of a situation at night, okay? Now, what we're going to do is show you some basic food items you can buy at any store really cheaply. Pork and beans. Get this. This is really easy to cook, and you can eat it right out of the can. Also, pick up some salad dressing. Could be mayonnaise, ketchup, mustard, anything, even salad dressings like this. This is really important because sometimes you find leafy vegetables like dandelions and you have to eat it. it makes it a little bit more appetizing. I get these tomato sauces, which are lightweight and in plastic bags or metal, some sort of Mylar bag. Really good. I got about 4 or 5 of these. We're talking top ramen. Get as much as you can. It's really light. You can go in the top. It's got a little food packet in it. It's actually for flavoring. I have about 20 packs in here, okay? Basically, this is how full my survival pack is so far. And I urge you to get some tuna fish. Tuna fish is really high in protein and will get you through some rough situations. Open a can of tuna fish, put some condiments on it, and you're good to go. Then I also, that tomato sauce earlier, I recommend getting angel hair pasta. It is easy to make, really thin, and it can cook very fast. You can use a small amount or as much as you need depending on how many people you're cooking for. And you want to get dried fruit. In this particular case, I got some dried blueberries. Great antioxidant, gets you going on the road. I also recommend any other canned food that you can find, and I recommend crackers of any sort. So we've got a box of these crackers that are whole grain, provide basic food supply in the event of a disaster.
Now, I want to remind everybody that I said crackers. Just so y'all know that it's okay for a white man to say crackers on the screen. Ain't nobody going to say that's racist. Alright?
You're good to go. It's easy to eat. And you can usually buy these things at a wholesale food supply store. And you can put this right on top.
Oh no. Alert, alert.
And still within a time frame to get out of the house in the event of a...
Whoa, we have a person, Scissor Fight believes that we should collect cigarettes, booze, and weed for trading. Not a good idea, in my opinion, Scissor Fight. Not a good idea. Trading is not a good move, all right? Maybe 6 months after the apocalypse and when all the bodies are carried away, you can start trading with somebody close to you, but honestly, trading opens you up to potential for robbery. Yeah, one of the biggest, most common mistakes that survivalists make is they think that they're going to stock up on trade value. You'll get robbed, yeah. You know, I don't talk about weaponry on our show, but later tonight, after 9, I'll play my survival, my gun control, no gun control video. Yeah, I'm a gun rights supporter. But I don't make a big deal talking about some of the new guns that they have. I try to avoid telling people about the new Ruger. What was the Ruger called? The 2010? I think it was called the 2010. It's a split rifle that breaks out into 2. Here it is. This is one of the most interesting. I'm going to drop out of that video right now, but let me show you. Hi, Sarah. Let me show you a Ruger we just looked at. This is a pretty cool gun. It's a 20 long barrel, long bullet rifle that splits into 2 pieces, and you can put this in a backpack. The old Rugers are fine, but this is the newest innovation. We tried this. It split down and broke in less than a second.
Yeah.
You can just cool. you just go like this, twist, click, and you're off. It's a wonderful technology,
twist,
and it's
click, and it's on.
And twist, click, and you're ready to go. I mean, you can carry that in a backpack. And the nice thing about that, you can carry 48 rounds in a clip. They make under 24 rounds on each side. So you flip the clip over and you got 24 more rounds. You can carry that. 48 rounds with you in a survival situation should last you. The Henry AR-7, it's like the Henry AR-7. The Henry AR-7's a lot cheaper. You can get that for about $168 at Cabela's, whereas that Ruger 1022 is an actual $399 retail. Frickin' A, that's a nice gun. Yeah, $395 retail. All right, so no, there's no abuse going on here. I don't know what you're saying. Okay.
What's that screaming?
I don't hear any screaming. Do you, Opie?
I'll have to play that later because that's hilarious. That's an overdub of Mayberry RFD. I was thinking of doing like a Mayberry RFID, you know? Kind of like Aunt B detects, oh, Andy, is that an RFID chip in your pocket? Oh, wait, B, you should know talk about all those fancy things
What's
the
that
NSA
screaming?
uses to track me. All right, it's going to be funny. Mayberry RFID. Mass shootings in the U.S., 1,000 since 2012. Well, last year alone, we've had unarmed people shot with cops with bullets, you know. Been a lot of brutality cases in our country. Yeah. Daisy was way cheaper. Yeah, well, Daisy's whatever. It's all about stealth. When you're in a survival mode, traveling from point A to point B in urban survival kit, you need to be stealthy. So I recommend getting this. It's a certain type of camo netting that they sell at Cabela's. Cabela's, whatever. Whatever.
I guess they bought them both. So
they bought the Cabela's, whatever. Have you ever been to Cabela's? We're in the money. Okay. Yeah, I like to frequently tell people about this camouflage netting. Yeah, this is only $16. And what you do is you cover yourself up with this. And you're in your urban tent, right? So this is the setup. You carry like a 3-person pup tent with you. And you get some camo netting. I'm telling you how to survive. I'm trying to give you a follow-up on what I did back then. And we added the camo netting and the 3-person tent to the mix. But you put this in the woods, you can sleep comfortably and not even worry about your safety. You'll be completely hidden. Man who hit nearly a $500,000 lottery jackpot murdered in a Georgia home invasion. Wow. There you have it. I'm glad I'm not a lotto winner. That would be scary, having somebody go to your house and invade it. I'd have to blow their head off, because that in Washington State you can do that. The castle law says I can shoot anybody who traps me and puts me in mortal danger. Inside my home. Yeah. Okay, recent lottery winner has a forklift operator who won a nearly $500,000 Georgia lottery jackpot was killed. He'd won $434,000 Fantasy 5 jackpot in November. Wow, lucky guy. Not so lucky when it came to getting killed. Wow.
I don't think he was actually killed.
Oh.
Oh, he was killed.
Oh, he wasn't killed, but he was killed.
He was killed. Sorry, I wasn't sure if he was killed.
I know.
At first it just said
I shouldn't be
victim.
laughing. Stop laughing. Well, as usual, all those links don't work, so we're going to drop out of that. Plus, I'll get hit with copyright infringement if I put anything on there from any other website. Okay. Once in a week, a U.S. toddler is involved in a gunshot? What? Where are you getting these statistics?
They're making it up.
You're making these up?
I don't know.
American Atheism, are you making that story up? I don't believe that. Yeah. Show me some real stats on that, please. Thank you. All right, somebody said earlier they hated my voice. And I can understand them disliking the changing tone of my voice because I do many voices. And unfortunately, they may not have liked the voice I was delivering at the time. Many of the voices I do, of the 1,000 voices I'm able to do, are disturbing. Mitch McConnell ready to give presidential unlimited war powers, folks. These are the kind of people that want to give communist presidential powers. Senator Mitch McConnell ready to give president unlimited war powers. This is the guy that doesn't like the Donald. This is the guy that's standing up to anybody who questions the status quo. And he certainly would stand up against me. And as with all the videos that come in, we won't be able to play them online. I'm sorry. he gets his ISIS war vote.
Yesterday, I've been talking to Mitch. The President of the State of the Union called for Congress to act regarding giving him authority to fight ISIL. I agree with the President that Congress should act. And here's what I propose. That the authority to fight ISIL is not limited by time. It's not limited by means or location. Today, we found out that the administration has included ISIL targets in Afghanistan to be legitimate targets of the United States military. They categorized ISIL as the same threat to the nation as Al-Qaeda. That was the right move. So here's what I'm asking the President to do. Get behind my resolution. It gives you all the power you need to fight ISIL anywhere they go, using any method necessary, and as long as it takes. I hope.
Yeah. What about the U.S.? I mean, the next move is to turn it against the United States. They've already completely disabled the Posse Comitatus Act with the passage of the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act. They already have taken away our rights, our freedoms. They could call anybody an enemy combatant, a member of ISIL. I mean, the whole thing is absurd. This guy is out of control. Mitch McConnell and yeah. Sweeping authorization for the use of military force. But that's Lindsey Graham. Why are we listening to Lindsey Graham talk for Mitch McConnell? That's what I'd like to know. All right, thanks. That was interesting. Mitch McConnell sounds and looks like Lindsey Graham. That's amazing. They must be hanging out drinking the same booze or something. They sound identical, don't they? They sure look like Lindsey Graham to me. Did why don't you and Sarah trade places for one day? You know, I'm not into that transgender trend that they've got right now in Norway, where people dress up like women to experiment. I'm not into it. David, do you know if I were to do a movie channel, review channel? You're not allowed to, Beaker. If you monetize that on YouTube and you play video clips, even trailers, you may be able to do it, but they're going to be able to make money on your video. Let's just leave it at that. How can you not know that? No, I need a statistic to back that up, American atheism. You know, your raging liberalism is facing the litmus test of conservatism here tonight. You can't just go out and make raging gun control statements like that and expect us to believe it.
Stoic. I'll try. Thanks for coming in and watching our show. That's very much appreciated. I'm not answering the phone, so you might not bother calling unless you want David to come back into the show. Just FYI. I wouldn't engage in a fist fight. There's no reason to actually do that. Hello, Lot Lizard. What's on your phone? I'm not answering the phone. I don't do that. Just because the phone rings doesn't mean you have to answer it. That's my motto. Hypothetically, I'm sure I could. Wow, scissor fights. I will lead the conversation, Beekman. So what I was saying earlier is that here at America's Third Party, we believe in getting back to the basics. We believe in getting focusing on water, food, housing, healthcare, education, transportation, and our infrastructure in that order. So I already talked about water. Our ocean pipeline is what we believe here at America's Third Party. Actually, desalinating the ocean water, growing food, revitalizing our water. You don't see me spending billions. How am I spending billions, Beekman? Oh, you think I'm spending billions once I become president? I'll be spending billions? The difference is we're investing in our infrastructure for the future. That's the difference. I don't really see the tangible, the billions that are spent today. I don't see any tangible things that are come out of that. I understand mobile medical units aren't $1.95. However, the health care that we can have for the American people is priceless. Thank you. Yes, exactly. And with our food, we do have a national composting plan. We need to rebuild our soil. That's what we need to do. I don't do that, 9438. There's no need to do that. Hello. All right, so with our soil, I believe in actually getting more worm bins and composting. There's so much food waste that happens every single day, and we can actually take all of that food waste and rebuild our soil so that many things can grow from it. Where, Substar? I love the American people. 909. Bigfoot's drunk. I would say I tend to believe in having more public doctors. I believe that we can definitely retain a capitalist system, but I do also believe in having public doctors competing against private doctors. I believe that healthcare is a very big priority for our country. Correct. I am not pregnant. Correct. And I don't plan on becoming pregnant. Yeah, soil is very important so that we can actually revitalize our farming. That would be very good. So, water, food. We should also grow essential foods that people can have. Housing is so expensive for so many people. That's why we believe in having a homestead renewal plan where people can invest their own sweat equity, their labor, and then we bring in the lumber, and that's all that people need really to rebuild houses that are sitting vacant. It's not that I'm not capable, it's that I choose not to. 526, sorry. Oh, well, okay. What? Well, I do believe in your right to defend yourself, Snappy Smurf, and I don't want to force you to do anything. We don't want any mandates at all. We don't want to ban anything either. So we're different from the other parties in that way. We're not going to have any mandates and we're not going to ban anything either. Prophylactics. No, absolutely not. I don't want your labor, Snappy Smurf. When I talk about homestead renewal plan, that's completely voluntary. You don't have to go and help with the homestead renewal plan at all. If you're completely happy in your situation, continue in your situation. The homestead renewal plan is specifically will be tailored for people who want a better housing situation. And so that's what it's really intended for. It's not intended for just anyone. I mean, we are not going to put you to work if you don't want to be put to work. But we are about providing opportunities to people not about mandating anything, and we don't want to ban anything. So we will not be taking your guns. We will not be forcing you to go see a specific doctor or have health insurance if you don't choose to have health insurance. But we do want to provide people with opportunity. That's the difference between America's Third Party and other parties. And like I said, I don't want to take anyone's guns. I actually believe in the right to have guns. And no, I do not want to force you to live my lifestyle or force anyone to live any particular lifestyle. I personally, David and I, it's all about giving people opportunity. It's definitely not about forcing people into a certain way of being. We want, if you love going and having private healthcare insurance, then continue on with that path. You won't be forced to carry it, but if you like to carry it, go for it. You can continue to see whichever doctor you want to. You can continue living the way that you are living right now. If that's perfectly happy with you, do it. And that's one thing I want to say, is so many politicians and people running for office say, we've got to do this to make America great. We've got to do that to make America great. You know what? America is a pretty darn great place to be right now. So, not that it can't be better or different, but we are, many Americans actually already enjoy their life, and let's maintain that rather than trying to force anyone to conform to a certain way. I understand what you're saying, Snappy, but like I said, I want to give people opportunity. I don't want to force anyone to do anything. Right. Yeah. You think the economy, in Flint, Michigan is doing so well because of the water there. That's one of the things that I really do believe when I talk about water. Is not only our ocean pipeline, but we need to fix our water infrastructure across the country. And we can begin right in Flint, Michigan. It's amazing that we live in such a great country, and yet in Flint we have lead contaminated water, and in Detroit we have schools that are infested by rodents and cockroaches and floors falling apart. It's really, really sad. David, what you see of David online is what he is like in real life. Yes, I would say what you see is what you get with David. He's exactly the person he demonstrates to be. I'm not going to be exiling people in no way affiliated. I do believe that one thing we can do, however, is change the way that our welfare system works so that people who are in our country illegally are not automatically qualified for welfare and food stamps and etc. Now, acceptance, I would say toleration. No. So one thing I already just said is that we would like to change our welfare laws, Snappy Smurf, to make sure that it only goes to U.S. citizens. Yes, exactly. They always say it's because we don't have enough money. But yet we have enough resources and manpower to do that. I love that statement, Transcender. Actually, it reminds me of what Jacques Fresco said. Looking back, he studied the World War II, and they did not have enough money to pay for all of the things that were built during World War II. But we had the resources, we had the manpower, and it was built. Correct, Brita filter doesn't filter out lead from tap water. That's what I've I understand that's true. I'm not 100% sure of that. So Bria, if you are able to filter out lead, please contact me so I can correct myself. But I would say that a reverse osmosis system is the best system that people can use. Correct. Illegal immigrants would not qualify for welfare. I understand what you're saying, Snappy Smurf. I do believe in helping people. I do believe in giving people opportunity, not just giving people a handout, but giving people a hand up, teaching people skills that they can use to help maintain a house, for instance, and also be able to help them provide their own housing. Oh, sorry, in no way affiliated. I don't make any promises like that. Well, if all of that happens, I don't hate anyone. That's what I would say. I don't hate anyone. Yes, it should be, in a way, it should be voluntary to help. I would say that it would be great if you were able to when you do pay your taxes, you could say, I would like it to go to X. Ironically, though, most of our money is just going to pay the interest on our debt. That's how indebted we are to a illusory financial system. What gender are you, 2503? Yeah, I don't have a problem with people based on whatever lifestyle they want to lead. I mean, if they're not bothering you, just living their lifestyle. If they are bothering you, then that would be considered harassment, and you should report that to any authority. And why would you want to spend what? Okay, so, all right, it doesn't matter to me. I don't have whatever, 270. And yet, or you go to work every day doing the same thing, 785. No, I don't think it's a fair statement, 526. I think that it will take a huge amount of effort for David to become president. Huge. But it's not impossible. Thank you, third party updates. What about it, Arcady? Hello, Shrek. Welcome. A magnitude 6.6 earthquake hit off the coast of Jalisco, Mexico coast. Wow. And there's a big blizzard from the deep south to the northeast. Wow. The EPA regional administrator for Flint, Michigan resigned. The agency said in a statement on Thursday. And in Georgia, an officer was indicted in a fatal shooting. Well, thank you. I think I like you too, but yeah. What would you like his new routine to be? EPA Region 5 Administrator Susan.
Light again.
Roll over.
Roll over. Almost. Roll over.
It took Joel Silverman years to become a master dog trainer.
Wow. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so it's I made you a bagel with cream cheese.
Oh,
One of
thank
those
you.
really good ones. I
Thank
put it
you.
in the bedroom. You know, there's nothing about my presidential shtick that's getting old. I'm just simply running for president. How could you say this is a shtick? Wow, you allow this stuff in the room? I just ban all this stuff. This is a guy who's been stalking our room for the past 2 years. He's a Nazi, and he's incredibly jealous of what we're doing, and all he does is run us down.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I try to purge him whenever I can.
But it's purging.
Good. Okay, this is a story. A Pine AC4 is $15 PC. It's amazing. We saw the Raspberry Pi. This is the Pine A64. Endless possibilities. You can build a PC so small now. It's unbelievable. We know someone who has a couple Raspberry Pis, and they've been making good use of them. A $15 computer raises over $1 million on Kickstarter. Wow. That's cool. So what were you talking about?
So you guys are just about to wrap up a Kickstarter campaign for your Pine 64 computer.
Yep.
$15 computer. What's the big thing about this?
Well, $15, that's 3 cups of latte, right? I mean, that's really what the big thing is. For $15, you can build your own computer, workstation, 3D printer, laser engraver. It's really, you know, your dreams are the limits.
So when you kind of look at this device, what's kind of the first kind of customer you see?
There's lots of customers, really. There's the makers and the designers and the coders and hackers. Those guys can have use this. It's very similar to a Raspberry Pi, much more powerful and versatile. And the other use case is probably the third world countries, the countries with less resources can actually use this. Because this board right here runs 2.5 watts. So compared to your normal computer, which is about 200 watts.
Okay.
So you're talking about almost 10x the amount of savings of resources. So you imagine what you can do to save schools, educationals, and facilities, government facilities, amount of electricity.
So you talked about the 2.5 watts. Tell me about some of the other specs that people are seeing in this computer.
Okay, this is a breakthrough. I was just looking at the watt requirements for 500 milliwatts are required to run a USB out of the Raspberry Pi. And there's a 2.5 watt total draw is less than the Raspberry Pi. So I'm wearing the coat because it sets the tie off. Everyone likes the tie. They're really happy with it. I'm not David Letterman. I'm better. I wouldn't have sex with interns in the Ed Sullivan room. That's not something I would do. I'm not a person who engages in that type of behavior. And I'm not part of a secret society. Not that David Letterman is, but I'm not a person who's been put up to do this by some unknown source. I'm just an average American running for president with great ideas, and so is Sarah. We're both running. I'm a better man
We're
than
both
Letterman.
average people.
We're average people. We want to deal with this incredible Fukushima radiation pouring into the ocean. That's why it's playing behind you. Metro doors closes doors with major storm headed to the nation's capital. Folks, if you're on the East Coast right now and you're in D.C., it's 28 degrees. I talked to somebody last night in Toronto, 19 degrees, 15 degrees. Wow. So it's a real chill, they say, and they're talking about even getting, NOAA is making a warning to D.C. residents that they better start building survival packs for the family. Thank you. I'm glad that no one's coercing anybody here. pies are as low as $5. That's right, Giraffe Bane. Yep. And they sold out the first day. 500,000 pies sold for $5 a piece. These are cards, like PCI cards, that you can put in any computer, but they'll run a separate computer in your computer. So there's a lot of applications for these. But one of those applications, and it seems that Bitcoins is kind of taking a tumble right now. One of the ideas somebody presented to us recently was to set up a solar panel and hook up one of these mini computers and put a Bitcoin harvester on it and have it make money for you. So that was an idea that I thought was rather creative, but Bitcoins are kind of sliding right now. One of the key investors of Bitcoins said he's out completely. He doesn't believe in them anymore. I'm sure you wanted to like a lot of people, but it didn't work out. No, these are not Raspberry Pis as in the number. This is an actual company called Raspberry Pi. I'll show you the Raspberry Pi, which is interesting. When you look at the Raspberry Pi 2, it has a gigabyte of memory on it. Pretty cool. For $35. I guess we'll go to Raspberry Pi's website. But this is the mainframe of the smallest little computer you'd ever want to find. But that other one makes this one look expensive. $35 versus $15. A 900 megas. Look at what it has. It has a 900 megahertz quad core ARM Cortex A7 CPU and 1 gigabyte of RAM. Isn't that amazing? And you can plug in external plugs into that. One of those is an HDMI port. You're looking at right in the middle of the screen is an HDMI port. You've got your AC input. It's got one USB. I think it has 4 USBs on this unit, actually. You just bought one of those just now? Really? Wow. You're way ahead of the curve then. Yep. It's the cheapest $5 one. Yeah, Pi Zero. There you go. My friend wasn't paying her part, and I offered to... What? Well, 1 gigabyte of RAM is enough to run operations. I mean, if you want to check your email, it's perfect. I can see a fence in your future. Hey, let me show you the USB hub I just got everybody here.
Oh, good.
Before Sarah falls asleep, because she is very tired. She worked all day. Let me show you what we got here. You just stay right there. You can see it on the screen. I picked up this 13 USB splitter right here.
Oh, cool.
Isn't that cool?
Wow. That's pretty cool.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 more slots available. 4 or 5 more slots. So now we are able to plug in more peripherals.
Very cool.
Yeah. I know. Well, she's got a warm room in the other... We have a zone heating going on here. We have a warm room in the other area. It's, when I say warm, it's probably 68. I wish it was 72 in there, but we turned the heater on a little late today.
Wow, that's cool.
Well, the CPU will overheat, yeah. So, David, that unit will overheat. There's nothing to keep the CPU cooled off. There's no CPU in that thing I just showed you. It's just a splitter. It's a USB splitter. New graphene elastomer is more sensitive than human skin. Wow, I can't wait. My new elastomer outfit will be cut out of this graphene elastomer, so I'll feel it more than I would the real skin, and then I'll have my dragon skin armor underneath that with the metallic magnetic flex steel capability. They make a new dragon skin, does this amazing new thing with a plasma magnetic fluid. So if a bullet gets near you, as the bullet approaches, it actually, all the magnets go like this, like that. And it's a lightweight unit. Yeah. It's supposed to be the state of the art for bulletproofing. But if you're shot with a plastic bullet, It won't help. A ceramic plastic bullet would pierce that. That's the only problem with that technology. David, that unit will overheat. Thank you. Yeah, pure lead is what a bullet is. But the casing's no longer on the bullet, the back part of the bullet. Okay, what the hell? I don't know. Do that again with your finger? Okay. This is somebody just, no. Go ahead, what's the question?
The graphene elastomer is a flexible, ultralight material which can detect pressures and vibrations across a broad bandwidth of frequencies. It far exceeds the response range of our skin, and it also has a very fast response time.
Oh, yeah.
Much faster than a conventional polymer elaster.
So maybe the new skin pads people will be buying when they get these sex bots with skin pads on them, that might be an application. My cat is in the other room, but I can show you pictures of me with Amber. Yeah. I hope your electricity stays on too. There's nothing worse than being in sub-zero temperatures and having no electricity, guys. I'm worried about you. I really am. That's just the kind of hairpin I am. I care about America. Yeah.
Abnormal.
Here's a candid moment with me and Amber. That was me with her head. Well, Sarah, thank you very much for coming in. I appreciate it. I'm going to get rid of the windmill.
You're welcome. Thanks for making the bagel. I'm going to go eat it.
Enjoy. I also cleaned her cat box, too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
I'm trying. That cat box gets dirty. It's a problem. Somebody said, David, why don't you lose some weight? Well, I'm trying. Ugh. I've gotten down to my stick frame weight. Yeah, it looks like a little pecker. You always just chat everything you think. Do you ever filter it? It's in the bedroom under a plate. Yeah. You never filter chat? Dr. Phil, you are above calling me that. Really, you know that I would never touch a cat indecently. Now there's a cat to deal with. Man, the neo-Nazi tendencies of the National Socialists we know as Hillary Clinton. I never liked the idea of Marxism once. Chrome is about to get a lot faster thanks to Google's new algorithm. Wow. Gee, coming up with new algorithms. Interesting Engineering has a news story about Google. Yeah, I don't embrace the National Socialistic practices of Hillary. I don't think that Hillary is good to endorse all those big healthcare companies and all those companies that paid into the Clinton initiative to get exposure in the government. I think we've got a very much of a fascistic government led by people like the Clintons. Yeah. Obama's no better. He's just a puppet. It's in the bed under a plate, yes. We're not doing anything weird. It's food. I don't leave food exposed to the cat in case the cat wants to eat a bagel. Oy vey, my cat is eating the bagel. Somebody said my energy was a little low the other night. I better get it up. My dulcimer voice is kicking in. I need to be a little bit more forceful. Yeah, so do you want to get back to the discussion of biometric chip analysis and the possibility that both of these people are already chipped? Because that was the discussion tonight. Yeah, you could probably do that, yeah. No, I don't think that's illegal, actually. I don't think you can be taxidermed. I think the law requires you to either be interred in a casket or, like David Bowie, vaporized within the day of your death. cremated. I'm not chipped. No way, man. There's no way you could possibly detect a chip in me. In fact, I'm willing to offer the American people a brain scan once every month using non-invasive technologies and a body scan to verify that I'm not chipped. And if I ever break that promise, you know that I'll be chipped. It's an insurance plan for you, the American people, to know your president is not a robot. That is not correct. My brain is extremely powerful. If you question any one of my neurological think centers, I will respond in lightning fast speed. Feel free to test me and put me through the ringer. Yeah, brain and body scan every month in a low frequency, low RF range type of something safe. That they say, David, this is perfectly safe, nothing to worry about. We're just going to give you a little zap, kind of like the rapid scanner. I'd put up with a rapid scan type of machine once a month just to verify the American people I'm not a robot. Heck, I can prove it to you right now I'm not a robot, simply by talking to you smoothly without actually stumbling on my words, using this technology of word smoothing. This particular Android was developed to smooth all technology was smoothing. Was developed to smooth all technology was smoothing. To repeat, defrag. We are now here in the show talking about politics. My name is David Sponheim. No, I don't like the TSA. They bother me. I will phase out the TSA. Not only do I support you, but I support the blimp plane with every fiber of my being. In no way affiliated likes the blimp plane. Wow. Well, let's 3 cheers to the blimp plane, everybody. Great. This is the best news I've heard yet. Yes, it is a worsted wool jacket. I purchased it at Macy's in 2012, and it was a $39 special off the rack, normally $250. Yeah. MRI has no ill effects? Really? Tell that to the guy with a pacemaker who had it ripped out of his heart. Cease, you ninny. Yeah, $39, normally $250. That's the price I pay. Wherever I go, I look for 97% or 95% discounts. I'll settle for 80. I'm telling you, I would never stoop that low to have sex with a carbohydrate. A protein, yes, but not a carbohydrate. I don't have a classy coat. It's called the Slim Look. It's very trendy. You can barely see it with this background. Let me give you a cut back a little bit more into the background here. Yeah, it can be boring for a lot of you. I'm going to just jump in the pool. They like the shoulder movement. You like that? This is my spot. This is where I work out. I work out 3 times a day. My body is constantly toning and working on new muscle structures so that I can maintain my physical stamina to be a strong leading president, to help this nation get stronger as we go. I'm maintaining my physical health because, frankly, Obama isn't maintaining his physical health. Hillary looks like she could use some more brain surgery. And I don't know about Donald Trump, but 85 pounds overweight and running for president, that can't be a good combination. I'm literally 225 pounds, 6'4", and I'm built like a rock. You'd be lucky to have a body as toned as mine. Shall I take my jacket off? Yeah. I'm built like The Rock, yeah. In fact, some people are making, they're drawing pictures seeing me as a possible worldwide wrestling champion. But I have no affiliation, unlike Donald, with the underworld or any of the dons that are out there. I have no affiliation whatsoever. This is not me, okay? It's just not. People say, Dave, you look like this guy. You might be the guy. Are you the guy? I was like, no, this is not me. I would never do that to you. I would never, ever make a deal with the mob. I'm not corrupt. I do a lot of business in New York, but I'm not corrupt. Sorry. I couldn't help but do that. David, how sad is it? I don't think he's even on the radar, dude. Yeah. The fact of the matter is, this show, as being purposely under-promoted by the Vaughn Network. I don't know if you realize that, but we have experienced actual censorship on this network. You need to tell a friend. Yeah. You realize that we've been censored here too? I know. They don't want the truth to get out, everybody. They don't want to talk about Barack Obama's brain shit.
But who's your 23-year-old girl?
I know I cannot play anything from Mexico right now. So the new algorithm, Chrome, aren't you excited? Big difference in the speed at Chrome. Who cares? You've been censored too? Yeah, Carolyn's been censored too. Nirvana headphones get you high on dopamine, aka the happiness chemical. Nirvana headphones getting you high on dopamine. Wow, Big Brother really is here. This is amazing. Now, does Nirvana, the group, promote this, or is this a Courtney Love special? If you already think music is pleasurable, get ready to feel even better with headphones that stimulate nerves that trigger pleasure, producing neurotransmitters such as dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. Whoa. Great picture. Look at that picture, man. That is hot. Love pictures like that. Love it. I'm a picture collector. I can't control myself. That's going directly into my technology bin. Nirvana. All right, thank you. Very cool. Okay, you were censored too, yeah. You don't need these fancy headphones. You'll just stick my spray paint huffing. She took the red pill and the blue pill. That's right. It's like Morpheus. All right, so we've got Heil Hitlery, and we got the Obama headscar, and we've got lots of things we could show you in the background that will, make you want to vote for me. But the most important thing, I think, is legalization of marijuana. Without this, you know you're going to feel like a burnt out old man at the age of 50, without some relief from ganja. David, aren't you afraid of Fukushima out there on the West Coast? No, I'm not. I live in a pretty safe area. We check the radiation levels in the Puget Sound, and because of the network of islands, we are resisting the direct hit. We are the safest in the entire Pacific Northwest where I'm living. I'm in the almost the vortex of a Coriolis effect, which steers radiation away from my home. So I'm almost living in the most pristine place I could possibly live. It's ironic how irony can be sometimes. Today, a slice of the internet, tomorrow the country. Thank you so much, 988. I appreciate that. But the censorships we discovered on Vaughn when they started hitting all of our viewers with capacity server, and they weren't hitting anyone else with capacity servers. That's when we got a little bit concerned. And then they had this big overture where they, everyone acted like, oh, we love you, Dave, and then all of a sudden, no one was promoting me. And they haven't done any promotions on our show since. I've noticed that. Oh, well, the whole thing. Censorship is destroying our political process. It's caused the crisis we have today. The reason why our country can't seem to solve problems is nobody gets their ideas out there. You guys have great ideas. I'm sure many of you have a good idea. Each one of you has a good idea that would be very helpful for our country. Somewhere, and maybe many of you may have many more good ideas. Now, Obama, and this is right out of the White House, says in his website, they steadfastly oppose legalization of marijuana and other drugs because legalization would increase the availability and use of illicit drugs. There's no proof that legalization of marijuana has increased the availability of other illicit drugs and posed significant health and safety risks to all Americans, particularly young people. There has been no proof that there's any deleterious effects from marijuana. It's been a very big plus for all the people involved. So these two people will never legalize marijuana. I will. That alone would be a reason to vote for me. Seriously. That alone would be a good reason. Well, there's so many other reasons. I run into nothing but hostility from the far right wingers, these extremists like Donald Trump in our show. People that want to, bag and tag Muslims. I mean, people that are hateful. And then we look at the love generated with this legalization campaign, and we realize, no, it's going to come. It's already happening in over 20 states now. But recreational legalization will be the only way I will do it. I'm not going to create special groups that can make money like they're doing in New York. The cops can get that weed from a drug bust and give it to a pharmacy to sell. Bernie took him 60 years to realize he wanted to legalize pot. You really think that guy's hep enough to want to legalize pot in the way that will make a big difference? Bernie literally waited till last year, at the very end of last year, to say he supported legalization. Come on. You're dealing with a guy with his old world mentality, socialist Marxist principles, which have been proven to fail in every economic formula, and a complete disaster when it comes to public speaking, where he's screaming all the time, almost like he's whining about everything. You can imagine, hey, Bernie, what do you think about the economy? What am I going to do? I don't know. Well, how about foreign policy? Well, we've got a lot of problems. I mean, come on. Show some balls. Grow some cojones. Act more like Scarface or something. Okay. Say hello to my great nation. Grow some balls. Yeah, anyway. David, why must you be on screen to be in People? United American hasn't been on screen for 3 months. There you go, FJJ18. Now you understand what I'm dealing with. Miss Scruffy pulled me off the People section, stuck me in News and Tech, and told me if I wanted to be on camera, I can do People. I'm just telling you what they're doing to me. Look, I'll play the victim here. It doesn't really matter. This network is just a blimp in the universe. I got chunks of networks like this in my stools. Yeah. They're all the same. I mean, I've got 3 other broadcasts running right now. Yeah. I could easily go there. I could go live right now on 3 other competitors. It wouldn't bother me one bit. David is not too serious to not play down to a comical level either. I'm not. I'm a real person, man. I thought you understood that. Thank you, Hillary. You'll need to follow me. I'll help you and Bill get out of the trouble you're in. Just make sure you can open up a line of communication with me before I actually win the presidency. Yeah, I know it's going to be tough. We're going to have to roll them over the coals on the Jeffrey Epstein thing and Orgy Island, but I'm sure Bill can straighten out his act. It's not over yet for him. He just has to admit that I should never have ever tried to have sex with anyone. It's the worst thing I ever did. Just stay away from sex and he'll be all right. How old is he now? 69? He's the same age as Trump? Yeah, he looks more virile than Trump, though. You notice that? Trump has this look like he hasn't been able to, without Viagra for a long time. Woohoo! Orgy Island. Yeah, you want to talk about Orgy Island? No, I don't eat any veal. It's morally irreconcilable for me to eat a young piece of meat. I prefer my meat mature and fine. But yeah, I would definitely. I used to be a vegetarian, and I gave it all up because of my body. Actually, get this: as I got older, and there's no technology behind what I'm saying right now, but as I got older, I realized that I was weak on glucosamine. You start to feel the pain in the joints and those things. So I found a natural supply of glucosamine in the form of shrimp. And it's amazing. I take like 5 shrimp a day, and I start feeling better. My joints feel better. It's just almost amazing. I've never eaten dog or horse meat. I have respect for those creatures. Yeah, so what are we going to do about Flint, Michigan? Anyone? Anyone have any ideas? I like Sarah's reverse osmosis idea. What about giving everybody in Flint, Michigan a piece of property out in Alaska? Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. Just, hey, you want to go live in Alaska? Change the scenery. Yeah, I've been checking my mercury levels. What I do is detox on mercury every week. I skipped this week, but every week I do a full detox using an ion cleanse system. Let me show you that technology. It's actually pretty cool. You may not believe it, but this has been around for almost 30 years now. These foot detox machines are very successful. They do a good job. Well, let's be clear. I take this entire setup right here. It's basically a $199 setup. You put it in a foot bath. You soak your feet in it. The rod, this coil goes in the water of your foot bath. You put a little Epsom salt in there. You have a wrist attachment that plugs into the unit. You have a belt attachment that plugs into the unit. And the whole thing comes in a really nice stainless steel case. And it works. It pulls toxins out of your skin. It's amazing. It sends a low volt frequency of electricity through your system. It's like a car charging system. And it literally, in 30-minute treatment, turns your entire, the water turns dirty brown. And every person has a different reaction. Now, you'll read about how people are debunking this on eBay, or rather on YouTube. I've seen the debunker things. They don't actually make any sense. It's not dangerous at all. In fact, it's been used for a long, long time. It actually pulls heavy metals out of your skin. Your skin is a semi-impermeable membrane, and it can actually release the toxins that the charge carries with them, like mercury and things that you'd pick up eating shrimp. But I'll give you a link to one of these items. It's just out of curiosity if you want to check them out. This is a foot bath included for $239. Wow, I don't think that link's going to work. Well, maybe it will. Yeah, it worked. Yeah, there you go. So that's an all-in-one foot bath included. You can test the water. You can do whatever you want. Whoever's trying to debunk it, look, they wouldn't be selling them all over the world and for the past 30 years if they didn't work. Yeah, and your foot gets metal buildup because of gravity. Good point, Mr. Thurman. Thank you for saying that. Well, it sends an electric current through your system, and the charge picks up in the heavy metals, and they migrate to your lower extremities. All I can tell you is I feel 100% better when I do it. I feel a little loggy today because I missed it. I completely blew it off. But normally on a Thursday, I feel much, more uppity. Yeah, I'll get into uppity and all, But I feel a little bit loggy tonight. I don't know. Maybe it's the carbo. I just ate a big piece of pizza. But, whatever. Yeah, iron is a heavy metal. Your body needs a certain amount of iron to run. But you can have too much iron if you're a man. They recommend not eating too much iron for men as they get older. Women, of course, have a natural need for iron because of their menstrual cycle. But I'm not in any way giving you medical advice or any kind of remedies. I'm just telling you this is how this item works, and it does work for me. Well, if you overdo it, you can get sick. You can only do this like once a week or once every 2 weeks or once every 3 weeks. If you haven't done it before, try it once and then again 3 weeks later and see how you feel. I have not tried the THC soap. I want to check it out. Yeah, I do wash with hemp soap, which is Dr. Bonner's. They make hemp soap. It's pretty cool. Dr. Bonner's is one of the best companies ever. Hey, by the way, all of our ideas here on our show really are dedicated to bypassing the mistakes of the two-party system. It's not that I dislike Hillary and Barack. It's just that I feel sorry for the country that fell for their lies. I really am more concerned about, at this point, not erasing my face from the picture, but if I can come back, I will. By bringing the camera back in the show, I can return and continue broadcasting. I was a Democrat for 30 years, and I'm more than willing to understand and discuss the issues of the Democratic Party. I don't hold any grudges against anybody for calling me a racist because I impersonated Barack Obama in a blackface. I understand that's what a lot of people, that's a knee-jerk reaction to something as severe as doing a blackface. But I had to do a blackface in order to break through the incredible lockup the media has created. So if you see stories about me doing this they've got a couple stories across the nation running about how this guy that did this, and I don't think it's funny, I think it's satirical. I never thought it was funny. What's really sad is our country is not aware of how bad a decision it was to vote for Barack Obama. And what's equally disturbing is the simple fact that no one questions Obama on the policies, and the policies are eroding. The country is suffering because of the policies. Already Obamacare has pushed an entire healthcare provider out of the Obamacare system. They've completely dumped out. They can't possibly make money. The healthcare insurance companies are robbed by the healthcare providers. So the issues are important, but right now we've got all these things preventing us from getting any attention at all, and the media censors everything. And the American people have like an attention span of about 7 seconds. So if you can't remember what I just said, you're not in any way abnormal. So don't think you are. Yeah, they have a 7-second attention span. No, I'm not for a global depopulation, because the problem really is not with depopulation. It's with fixing the water quality and the air quality. It's always been about that. And the problem really is the elitists want to get rid of people because it's a lot easier for them to depopulate than it is to fix the water and the air problem and the food issue. So they've created devious plans to slowly kill us all off. Yes. And the reality is, people like David Rockefeller would rather we were not here, would rather just get rid of us. They created the problem. You are expendable in their eyes. They no longer need you. They need simply for the population to decrease. So they've gone out on record talking about it. They don't have the solution. I have the solution to the problem with air and wind and the global climate change issues. I actually have solutions that will solve those problems. They, however, want to get rid of the population. The rampant changes in our climate can be attributed to weather modification, perpetrated by David Rockefeller.
Ironically, however, the very innovations that are making possible dramatic improvements in human well-being are also creating new problems which raise the specter of an alarming and possibly catastrophic disaster to the biosphere we live in. And herein lies the dilemma that we all face. Let me illustrate. Improved public health has caused the world's infant mortality rate to decline by 60% over the last 40 years. In the same period, the world's average life expectancy has increased from 46 years in 1950s to 63 years today. This is a development which, as individuals, we can only applaud. However, the result of these positive measures is a world population that has risen during the same short period of time geometrically to almost 6 billion people and could easily exceed 8 billion by the year 2020.
Well, good. Good. I mean, I welcome 6 to 8 billion. I mean, we're at 7.3 billion right now. I welcome 8 billion. I'm 55. I welcome 10 billion on the planet. People like David Rockefeller, and we talked about Ted Turner the other night on Tuesday. They want to get rid of the population because it's easier for them to get rid of it than it is to clean up what they've already done. DuPont admits contaminated water sources. That's right. Thanks, David. Your site just isn't popping up. You need to add HTTP to that. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I'm 55, and I like I said, I use this ionic cleanse device. It helps. I can keep my aging to a minimum by eating right, and I can still be a youthful president for you when I'm 60 and 70. But the fact of the matter is, guys, these people who profited from all of your toil and your labor and your family's labor and have exploited you and your family and are now exploiting people all around the world to continue profiting, they find it easier to get rid of you than to get rid of carbon in the atmosphere. And they want to charge you a tax in order to get rid of carbon while they kill you with cancer-producing GMOs in your food and Roundup Ready glyphosate in your environment and literally poisoning you with rampant radiation spewing out of God knows whatever from dumps that have been sitting around forever that have never been cleaned up, without a single plan in mind to get rid of the spent fuel rods in every single nuclear reactor around our country. These people would rather just get rid of you than to fix the problem. You see, the real crunch here is they want to get rid of the population because they don't want to support it. They're crop dusting you. They're dumping chemicals in the atmosphere. They're weather modifying. Yeah. Well, I'm going to say 10 billion comfortably if we could just get these rich people out of the way. Stopping this from happening, we could have a much better distribution of our resources. I'm not talking about cash. I'm talking about resources. I know it was more than 7 seconds, and I'm sorry you had to endure that. Now you can relax. Let's start doing mindless things and just kind of, mope around.
We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop.
So they want a technocracy, and they want to control it.
In this coming election year.
But humans are not built that way. We're more naturalistic and independent and wild. They want us to be robots. Oh, better yet, they can just replace us with robots. They don't need people. So they've created a machine that will literally eat the entire human race. It's called industrialization. And it's sucking us down, it's destroying our environment, and it's killing off our people. But we are individuals and we can create, but they're keeping us down. So legalization is clearly the way. No, we're actually 39th in the world in terms of lifespan. We are not doing it justice to our species by letting rich people, old rich people, tell us we need to all depopulate.
In this coming election,
You realize what they're saying?
for David Spawn Hyde.
It's amazing. Yeah, they're literally saying that in order for us to survive, we have to become extinct. In order to win the peace, we have to have wars. They're speaking in doublespeak. If humans are going to survive, we need to solve all the problems on the planet and make a simple solution out of everything. Get serious recycling going on with the environment as opposed to this endless destruction. This Machiavellian destruction of all of our independence and our individuality that's going on right now in our country. Have a nice warm bagel too. Yeah, I have a warm bagel in the other room. I gave it to Sarah. She's eating it. I put nice cream cheese, not the Neuftel, the low-fat one, but the heavy-duty cream cheese on there. Okay, so we are obviously dealing with a brand new world now, and we have to realize that these people have no good intention for mankind. That if we are going to elevate out of this hole that they want to stick us, we actually have to do it one vote at a time. Yeah, it's that simple. Hillary's never going to stand up for you. She never developed a grassroots political movement, neither did Barack Obama. They merely borrowed a list from Howard Dean when they created the grassroots plan that they had in mind. But this is the future. The world awaits us. We just have to free it from the greedy hands of people like Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton and all the other elitists that want to control our future. That's the problem. Most of these people think that they are above the law. We will have recyclable water. We will have filter systems for our air. We will no longer have to live and breathe in a world that's constantly polluted. We'll be free of their industrialization, which they only profited from. You know, I've talked to people about how globalization has benefited. Yeah, you can buy a phone now, a telephone for $12 at Walmart, with a battery in it that if you replace costs you $20. And it comes from some toxic cesspool outside of Beijing. But we need to get realistic here. We have to start understanding that, you know, the economy isn't what they wanted to make it. Capitalism has its limits. The problem with capitalism is it has a never-endless need for expanded frontiers of growth. And rich capitalists are always looking to exploit people. And that's inevitably the problem with capitalism. That's why we created hybrid capitalism, to fix the problem. And hybrid capitalism deals with getting the government to get a return on investment, looping capital so that we no longer have to rely solely on taxes for revenue, a very wasteful government that we have today. I will implement very, very careful and tactical cost-cutting measures in the government so that it won't run down the efficacy of the government, if there is any, but will rather make it more purposeful and offer growth opportunities for small businesses, we can actually multiply the economy by creating products and then selling them for a very low cost to businesses to resell, like a car. A car, for instance, that gets, say we could produce a car like the XL1. Volkswagen just came out with a vehicle that can get 300 miles per gallon. Well, here's that world peace thing. That's cool. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, a car that could get 100 miles per gallon and go cost for about $15,000. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it'd be great. So, well, Well, actually, I could read right out of my book, yeah. But it wouldn't matter, because our book's going to be available for free download soon. It won't matter. Yeah, the book is just a synopsis of what we've been talking about for the past 7 years. And it's all relevant to what's going on right now, but no one wants to listen, except you guys. I appreciate that. But the book Hybrid Capitalism is all about looping capital and getting money back for the government to run from products and driving a growth economy with a free enterprise system, as opposed to stifling the economy, which is what we're doing right now with over-penalization, too much government. This lowers the profile of the government, but actually it gets the government to create jobs at the same time. So we get rid of the bad jobs, the really wasteful jobs, and we bring you the good jobs that are more plentiful for people at a lower salary. No, there's nothing about it that's communistic at all. Private property is retained. We don't lose the ownership of private property. In communism, there is no such thing as private property. It's all owned by the Politburo. The fact of the matter is, we are not trying to make a bigger government. We're trying to shrink the government, but make it more effective. We can't bring back Steve Jobs. He's currently in Argentina. He's on chelation therapy now. They managed to get him out of the country. Actually, he was in Brazil. He was last seen in Brazil, I believe. Yeah, he didn't die. Here's a photo of Steve taken about 2 years after he allegedly died. So they've got him there, and I think they're really, providing him a pretty good life down there. He got tired of the FBI having him on the 100 top most watch list. Yeah, he just wanted to get away. I'm sure David Bowie did the same thing. Yeah. Can you imagine being surrounded by paparazzi all the time? And constantly being, asked questions about what you're doing. And yeah, many of these people just decide to, fake their disappearance and disappear. You really believe Bowie just died? No, I don't. It's actually I ran into a tree today. It's unfortunate. Yeah, I was running through the woods and I ran right into the tree, and I was like, oh, I hope I don't hurt my face. But well, it was a branch that was sticking out in front of me. I had my safety goggles on, but I was doing some clearing of branches, and it stuck me in the face. Yeah, it's like, ouch. Yeah, I'm not deciding. I will do whatever the 2/3 majority wants to do. I'm not my way or the highway. 2/3 majority sticks with me. I don't buy the simple majority concept that the Democrats push. They say 51%. I don't buy the 51% majority thing. It has to be 2/3. And anything 2/3 of the country wants, I'll agree with. I seriously don't believe that 2/3 of the country would want to legalize all drugs right now. But I can see legalizing marijuana. No, I don't. There are no ethics of a state, philosophically. You're drawing from Plato's Republic. The state doesn't have ethics. The state ostensibly is merely an offshoot of a conglomeration of factors which have never been dealt with. Ever since the New Deal, our country has been unable to cut any waste off of our budget. The military-industrial complex spends most of their time regenerating new contracts, and it imposes a tremendous strain on our economy. There's no ethical implication by what the state does, dummy. No. The state is not an ethical entity. The state is merely a conglomeration. If there was ethics driving what the state did, you wouldn't have people suffering from homelessness. If there was an ethical base to the state, you wouldn't have 24,000 people in the military getting anally abducted. I mean, God knows what's going on. You wouldn't have the kind of abuse in our society with a prison system now the largest per capita in the world if the state had ethics. How can you even say those things? If the state even had any accountability, it wouldn't even engage in brutality. It wouldn't engage in an upfront takedown of our rights and our freedoms. If the state was ethical, the state itself would probably dissolve simply because it's not necessary. I'm not misunderstanding anything. I wouldn't go back to a university. It's an indoctrination center. It's producing carbon copy morons that are simply stacking the aisles of corruption we call the government or the corporation. Yes, I debated Milton Friedman for 15 minutes in which he lost on every single point. The future of our nation is dependent upon our creativity, and so far the state's proven to be not creative. Our political environment and exchange of political ideas is dependent upon our ability to share, and so far we've seen censorship. The ethical base of our nation can't even control the development of a new human genome, which is going on right now, privately in corporations around the country, if not the world. They are literally trying to manufacture a silicone-based human, an android. I kid you not. Woodrow Wilson, no. Herbert Hoover was the worst president. Then George W. Bush. I put Woodrow Wilson third of recent presidents. But Herbert Hoover kind of let the entire FDR thing happen by simply being the worst president ever. And then we've got George W. Bush, and Barack Obama, I would say, is up there as top 3 or 4 as well. He's let the entire infrastructure collapse. Simply thinking that everything's fine and we're in recovery and promising the world to everybody, well, we'll make no mistake about it. Everything's going to be just great. But he didn't do that. He actually introduced his economic revival plan by saying, well, make no mistake about it. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. That's not the statement from a president who's going to lead the nation. That's the statement of a worm responding from a teleprompter or worse. Without a teleprompter. Yeah, he's everything in the above. I know. You're triggered. Well, the farm equipment and the automation is the thing that's going to keep jobs from developing worldwide. Now, there's no logic coming out of your mouth, you fool. Don't even chat here. I'm going to put you on mute. Yeah, he's a Kenyan Marxist Muslim usurper. Yeah, I am going to get I'm going to eliminate taxes and get the government off our backs. Yeah, absolutely. Nothing in hybrid capitalism involves taxing. There's not one thing in this book that involves higher taxes. And the government isn't going to be on your backs. The government will actually be more taking a backseat, low-profile position, just trying to introduce jobs that can breed virality in our economy. Look, if you could come up with a different mechanism where business would somehow stop being such profit takers and come out and support small enterprise and give people at the low end an opportunity, hey, I'd be willing to say, yeah, show me. Show me one corporation that doesn't care about profit and all they care about is helping people. Name one, please. I'm all ears. And don't say United Way. Absolutely, and everyone should have an administration of choice. We need less government. I'm even suggesting part of my comprehensive plan to the governors of every state, which I will introduce in 2017, is an effort to downsize. Make a lot of your government positions, including your legislator positions, without pay. no paid jobs, where all they get is just the money to go back and forth to work and drive a vehicle. Our dollar's been collapsing a long time, and it's because of the Federal Reserve that it is collapsing. Had they not borrowed so much money, we wouldn't have a problem. But bear in mind, our dollar is a lot stronger against all world currencies right now, so relax, okay? You're getting a little ahead of yourself. Your money won't be spent on our state-funded operations. Like I said last night, our operations are funded with renewable energy savings bonds and funding directly out of the executive branch, parsed with the Treasury Department. What every president in the past 50 years has not known is the president is the only person that can actually oversee the Exchange Stabilization Fund, which gives me an open door to the discount window. Yeah. And I will have that authority to offer an infrastructure bank loan of 2% to every U.S. business that hires a U.S. citizen at a living wage of $15, stimulating new growth in our economy. Yeah, get a cup of coffee and we'll hash this out. We don't need a valid government, we need less government. And stay out of the room, please. You're not welcome here. A valid government. God. Government is basically, you look at the world that we have today. Government is the pile of trash cans that keep collecting at the curb. And every single time you have trash, you don't just put it in the same trash can, you buy a new trash can. And you never even take the old trash can away. So you got empty trash cans at the curb, and nobody bothers to even pick them up, or maybe they are picking them up and they're not doing anything with them. No, I cannot write. I strictly do voice to text protocols now. Primarily because of the obvious nature of my three-dimensional graphic imbus. Yes, of course I write. What would you like to write about? Yeah, that they print the money to buy the trash can. Yeah, I know, it's a big game. And we got to stop the game, I'm telling you. We don't have a valid government. We never have had a valid government. Our government dates back to 1871, or 1868 to be more precise. It was an interim government designed to deal with a bankrupt nation. Our dollar is not worthless. That's a lie. No, it's just that your dollar's not buying as much beef as it used to. You're really complaining because the cost of hamburger is $4.99 a pound. I know why you're complaining. I get that. We're just going to make cheaper beef. Then you won't be complaining so much. Unbelievably, there's no logic here in anything you're saying. So I'm going to purge and ban whatever you say. No, apparently none of us can write. I am proud to be American. Yes, sirree. Yes, sirree, Bob. Proud to be American. So let's take a look at my new blimp plane idea. A great way to get air travel down to $100 to go from LA to New York. That's fun. Yeah. You haven't seen the blimp plane? Well, this is an idea I believe could help all of our aging infrastructure, making good use of those old 747s that were built in 1978. Those things rolled out at $362 million a piece. We can't afford to throw them away. And I'm sure as hell not going to pay Boeing another $362 million to build another one. So we're going to use every one of these things and get them up in the air running. Now this unit will have multiple parachutes capable of preventing any kind of a disaster in case the fuselage of the dirigible would in some way be compromised. And it's going to be built out of Kevlar with a graphite infrastructure, a carbon fiber graphite infrastructure. But I'm envisioning blowout parachutes, at least 3. One there. One there. And one back here to slow the plane down. And then we'll put one on the wing and one on the wing over here. And all these parachutes will cost, and one on the nose cone. All these parachutes will cost only $300,000. That's how cheap it is to save lives on board this plane. Isn't that great? Yeah, I've seen the hulls that break apart and seal. Yeah, I like those ideas. All these are great ideas. Nothing I'm saying here cannot be done. Anything's possible. The idea is great. The entire covering of the outer surface, it will be covered with a hydrophobic foiling, which is yet to be developed. This technology will roll out in 2021, but that's later. Okay, Colt got banned from the show. Just took a little time. We needed to get him out of here. He doesn't know the rules around here. Yeah. Too bad, too. Now he has to come in as a guest. Can't be a VIP. You know, I was thinking of actually banning all the VIPs that come in here. Nothing preventing me from doing it. Now, a lot of you guys value your money, right? Well, according to Nancy Pelosi, she thinks that you should spend $7,700 a year for your medical insurance. Well, frankly, I'd like to have a seat at the table here. Yeah. Excuse me, Nancy, but you can get all this stuff, everything you can see in this picture right here, for $7,700. Yeah. So why would I want to go ahead and spend $7,700 on an insurance plan that might not even be used that year? I mean, wouldn't you guys like a countertop like this? Corian or something nice like Corian, a nice 60-inch LED 4K TV, stainless steel refrigerator and stove. Well, I'm not going to offer you granite for $7,700. Well, you'll care in just a few minutes when you realize you're in a crap hole in a cardboard box waiting for change. Yeah, you just haven't suffered long enough. You're saying I'm going to, come on. How am I going to afford granite? It's Corian. It's recycled material. Get with the program. We're not going to rip up the earth so you can have a kitchen. Yes, I did. Boeing. Yeah. They liked it. They liked it a lot. But they said that they were working on their own version. And right around the time I talked about my idea, they were developing their blimp, which just got a hybrid license to fly. No, these are real ideas. It's a political show about real ideas. I'm talking about how much money you're spending on health insurance, you idiot. Let me get you to pull up a chair. Have a seat, man. Let me get you something out of the fridge. This is not a commercial. I'm telling you what you will get. $7,700 will get you this in today's market. You can't afford granite with this deal. All the ideas that I've developed are patentable. What they created is not something that I created. They created a monstrous behemoth cargo container, and they were talking to me about their heavy ship lift system that is now clear to fly. It's their Boeing airship heavy lift design. It's different than my blimp plane. You can see that, can you not? Can you not see that? Are you a Nazi? All my ideas are anti-big business. I'm letting you sit at the table with me right here. The healthcare companies will suck $7,700 a year out of your pocket. I'll put a kitchen in your living room with that price. Yeah. You don't get the difference, do you? You don't understand what's happening here. All right. I was going to draw you a picture, but now I can no longer even draw you a picture. It's beyond that. You've been screwed so long, you don't even know what lubricant feels like. I'm going to superimpose your face on a toilet bowl and flush it. No. Only you can fix your toilet. If you rely on other people to fix everything in your life, you'll end up being a person who relies on other people to fix everything in their life. We do have a few campaign commercials, yes. Would you like to air them? It's a minimum donation of $5 to air a TV commercial. Yes, $5 for cable TV spots all across the country. I can buy in bulk. Sold to the man with the Chinese Afghan. Any other questions before I move on? I'm still on. Yeah, I do the extended shows to reach a lot of the brain dead people, Shrek, but you're not one of them. We never did really want to identify who stole my signs. That was not really my goal. My goal was to merely say I was having my signs stolen, and they were. Sarah is my witness. We had 90% signs taken away. I love the show too. I was getting everyone a little too frisky earlier while I was doing my sexy dance. All the other people who have no new ideas, we've got great new ideas. They come in here saying their ideas are all new. It's so funny. Well, I appreciate it. I'm trying to help improve the country. But producing a blimp plane, if it doesn't work, I'm not going to waste hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. If I don't get a test working vehicle and it doesn't perform, if it doesn't go 300 miles an hour, I can't use it. We need to get that blimp plane to go 300 miles an hour at 10,000 feet above sea level. I never touched my sister on camera. I did get angry at her. I will admit that. Because she was talking over everything I said. I don't like people talking over me. That's why I don't have people interacting in the show sometimes, because they talk over me. I don't want to make money. I'm not here to make money. In fact, my goal is to actually become less reliant on money the longer I live. The last thing I want to do is 85 years old going, well, I got a couple bills I got to pay, and I don't have footage of the Connie incident. You might. Go ahead and trim it off the internet. Feel free. Yeah, I don't mind you cutting all of the worst blooper scenes I've ever done on the show. It doesn't matter to me. I eat that up. Bring it. Yeah, I don't mind. I'll gladly tell people I don't put up with people talking over me. No, when I'm talking, people don't talk over me. It's just the way it is. I don't talk over other people. No, I don't insult people in chat. Only idiots like you. I try to avoid doing that. I wouldn't do that if I were you. But contact a crisis unit in your area. You're having an ISIS crisis. Yeah, contact a crisis unit right now. Get them on the phone. Tell them you're depressed, that you need help, and then they'll ask you, well, why are you depressed? And you'll tell them. Seriously. It's the best thing you can do for your psyche right now. We need to save you. You're important. Every person here is important. Yeah, you want to get that feel-good feeling. Yeah. All lives matter, yeah. You know, one of the reasons why we ban people and purge people who demoralize and denigrate is because you have been around too many of those people in your life. Many of you have had to put up with bullies, criticism, affirmative action, all kinds of negative things in your life. Yeah, I know you have. And I'm here to applaud your creativity and encourage you to be more creative. Yeah. Well, I've been through what you've been through. I grew up being a very big guy. I made the mistake of smashing my cousin in the face when I was 7 years old because he said bad things about his sister. Yeah, really, ISIS. I mean, still incredibly stupid. There you go. Good acronym. But this is the thing. I was told by my father to be nonviolent. He said it takes a bigger man to be nonviolent, a stronger man to be nonviolent, to not fight back. And it was hard for me to understand that until I realized that my father, who'd been a war hero in World War II and killed over 100 men, some in hand-to-hand combat, was actually giving me some words of advice to, live a longer life. And it was the best thing he could have done. Because it really saved me from numerous incidences where I would have been killed. Numerous times. He fought for the United States of America against the Japanese. He was a World War II hero. And he didn't want to impart that upon other people. So I've taken this course of nonviolence all my life, but believe me, I wanted to stop some serious, I seriously wanted to, get back at the bullies that attacked me during my school years. But I had to shelve that desire to get back and had shelved that feeling of anger because it was of no value. It only hurt me by responding to them. I would have probably been in jail. I probably would have been double nickels at Chino by now, man. All tattooed up. Yeah, I seriously would have been if I hadn't chosen this pathway. It's easy to go the direction of violence. It's a lot harder to take the nonviolent direction. And that's why this process of building a political movement is so difficult, because people want immediate response. They want to see immediate answers. They don't realize this is going to take a long time and a lot of effort to build it. Rome wasn't built in a day, and it can't be done overnight. And you cannot strike out in violence, because that's exactly what the government wants. There you go. NASA is not always scientifically accurate. Never a straight answer. No, I don't salute the F-18s because I don't like them. The EA-18Gs. Yeah, I feel that they're unnecessary aircraft that are antiquated. And we shouldn't mothball them, but we should oil them down and get them ready for mothballing. Because we're going to be leaning on a much more highly capable, more disposable, unmanned vehicle fighting force of the future. And it won't be coming out of Raytheon. They won't be our number one contractor in the future. Unless they can produce low-cost, mass-assembled, and precision-engineered UAVs that are more disposable, the Predator will be a thing of the past. It'll still be in use, but it'll be a thing of the past. We're going to need something much more mobile and agile and capable of getting Mach 3 to Mach 10 in speed. In order to compete with our enemies around the globe, our nation will have to take on a much more responsive defensive stance, including laser technology, masers, proton beams. All of that will be necessary to ensure the safety and security of the American people. Unfortunately, the two parties can't even comprehend what I'm saying. They don't even understand the need for efficiency. They are strangling our nation. They are slowing us down. We're in sludge with these people. I'm sure it was written in more than a couple hours, but whatever. So I'm initiating a new technology called the flying flying paper technology, and will be deploying this across the globe. These mass-produced Xerox copies of unmanned vehicles will take on a new presence, able to fly like magic carpets through the sky. They'll be stealth. They can break away and do their own thing. Excuse me, guys. Thank you. They'll be flying without even completely integrated, organic, dynamic, and fully functional pre-op unmanned vehicles. I'm sorry. You're getting seasick looking at that. Ball Harry loves me. It really, it makes me sick to have you love me. The mere thought of you loving me is abhorrent to me. Boost your Wi-Fi signal using a beer can. Look at this. And here I thought I wasn't going to give you any new tips, technology tips. This is really important. You having problems with your Wi-Fi signal, there is your solution. All right? No, I was just trying to get your attention. By mentioning the word pre-op, you immediately thought I was talking about transgenderism because that's the predictive programming you've been engaged in. Teleportation is becoming a reality. Oh, really? Yeah. I was wondering why I woke up the other day in a bar in 5th and Main. I'm just kidding. I don't drink. I don't even know where 5th and Main is. Schrodinger's cat paradox essentially states that if you were to put a cat into a box before looking inside the box, the cat is in both the states of being dead and alive. Otherwise known as superposition. The act of looking inside the box therefore forces nature to decide the state the cat is in. Okay, I think this involves a deep thinking module. I'm not sure I'm up for that right now. How did I make you cry? I didn't mean to make you cry, man. It seems like psychobabble to me, doesn't it? I agree. You know, a lot of you people are spending a lot of your time philosophating. Imagining what life would be like if you were living in a better place, and then realizing that you're just you and your hand. You might as well get married to it. It's a very famous paradox, yeah. So famous I forgot it. But yeah, boost your Wi-Fi signal using a beer can. That's some common sense knowledge, you know. The last thing you want to do is turn into an aimless philosophator. Focus your beams on something that you can do. We just got a new computer. And we're buying an excessive contract, a 3-year contract on it. Service contract. I normally don't do that. Well, I personally don't trust Wi-Fi, so what you can do is you can actually make these as deflectors. So say you have a Wi-Fi signal in your house and you don't want to be on you at all times, put these deflectors around it. And if you really want to protect yourself, I'll sell you this tinfoil hat for only $39.99. That's right, only $39.99. You can deflect yourself against Wi-Fi signals in your house. This is made out of gamma-proof mylar, developed by the space agency called NASA. That's right, only $39.99. This mylar incredible RF signal diffuser will prevent your brain from being attacked, so purchase now. Go to tinfoilhat.com. Operator standing by. No, shipping is expensive. It's almost an ounce, so it's going to cost you at least 47 cents plus extra shipping for large packaging. Yeah, the American Great Again hat with aluminum foil over it. I made that hat as a stunt for the show. People say I don't do anything. I'm busy making tinfoil hats. I wish I was your daddy too, but not in the way you think you want me to be your daddy, because nobody does you like your daddy did. Yeah. I don't believe in foil underwear. It foils all of your tender loving moments. It ruins that spontaneity. Honey, what are you wearing tinfoil underwear? You're not one of those whack jobs, are you, honey? You can just see people like losing excite moments in bed when they realize, oh my God, you're a whack job. Don't have your lover find out that you're actually aware of the RF signals in your room. Get these non-discreet tinfoil translucent underwear. It doesn't look a bit different than yeah. Whatever. If it was Adam and Eve and they had 2 sons, how do they populate the world? We've been working the mathematics on that. It occurs to me that they must have had some sort of an incestual relationship at one point or another. Not that I'm in any way in favor of that, because I'm not. Your woman shouldn't find out that you're a whack job until you're on at least your 15th date, guys. So don't bring up America's Third Party until your 3rd date. And then say, oh, by the way, I really think I'm an independent. Don't just start talking about America's Third Party. And then say, oh, by the way, I watch a guy on the internet who's creating a third party. On the 5th date, you can break that to her. And then she'll say, oh, well, I'm a Republican. Well, then say, well, I was a Democrat. You know, we can both leave our party together and hold hands and share the love. So you learned something today, how to boost your Wi-Fi signal using the beer can. Wait, what? This optical illusion will leave you scratching. Oh. 22-year-old Sabrina is a Harvard PhD. Cable stripping has never been easier with cable knife. Project proposes detaching entire cabin from airplane in it. This is the one that I was really interested in. We played this the other night. It's pretty cool. There it is. Yeah, and then you could have parachutes on that. Okay. Well, we made it all the way to 10 o'clock, everybody. And at 10 o'clock, I switch over to News Tech. So it could be that... Thank you. It could be that because I'm doing like Miss Scruffy asked me to do, that we aren't getting as many viewers through the people section. But like I said, Miss Scruffy said, you got to change and go over to News Tech if you're not off camera. And she's not patrolling any of the other channels, just mine. So we're on the same website, yeah. Okay, so we have a few things in the news. We can do a little round robin on last night and tonight. The global economy is struggling, and the American dollar is still very strong. So don't buy into the story that we're dealing with worthless money. It's still valuable. You can still go to Best Buy and buy a nice LED TV for $500. Okay, but the world is facing a wave of epic debt defaults. Fears the central bank, one of the veterans is saying, situation is worse than it was in 2007, says the chairman of the OECD's review committee. Debts have continued to build up over the last 8 years, and they have reached such levels in every part of the world that they have become a potent cause for mischief. Yeah. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. The European banking system may have to be recapitalized on a scale yet unimagined. And a new bail-in rules means that any depositor holder above the guarantee of 100,000 euros will have to help pay for it. Well, new rules are not going to straighten out what appears to be the collapse of the EU. They look at the $20 bill funny, like they normally get credit cards now. Really? Okay, and then next we talked about, no, that's not really a story. Oh yeah, Raspberry Pi. Oh yeah, this is a microchip that you can put on your neck. This is a really interesting article. I Googled this at the beginning of our show. Motorola patented e-tattoo in 2010 that gives them the ability to shut down your voice box. Now remember I was talking about the dangers of biometric and transhumanism? Well, that's potentially going to be used against somebody somewhere. Earthquake forecast areas being hit now. Okay, I'll take a look at that. Okay, thank you. Okay, this is our platform for our party. If you haven't seen it, this is our new platform. We're improving our site. We haven't got there yet, but that's just a sketch of our newest platform and what it's going to look like. Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 115 points. Computers are being used with the military now. DARPA is introducing a device that will give them the ability to communicate directly from their brain to a computer. This is a major breach of what I consider ethics. I certainly don't think it's appropriate to slip chips in our military personnel's bodies. That's why I actually brought up the story of a patent solution that would solve that problem. I would rather they'd use this patented e-tattoo than to put a biometric chip in our military. Oh yeah, my tie is great. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you like it, because I had a lot of bad raps on this tie the other day. Seismic unrest. Wow. Don't kill yourself, folks. Life is too good, and you'll get better. Believe me. Some of you may be really depressed. Now, this is a video I'm going to play you from Michio Kaku, who's How to Stop Robots from Killing Us. I have not seen this video, but I'm going to be watching it with you. And we watch videos all the way to 2 in the morning. So if you want to hang out and chat, it's kind of a low-key environment. Politics is our discussion, but you can talk about anything. Some of you like to hook up on other issues. That's cool. But that's what we are doing every day. I want to thank you for coming into our Technology Thursday show. It's always a pleasure to have a viewer, and multiple viewers at that. We've been doing this show for the past 7 years, and every day without a fail, and we've even done it on the road when we traveled. And our dedication really is nonstop interaction and transparency. You're not going to get that from anybody else. And I will deliver this in the White House every day as well. You'll have an inside track on what's happening every day in our country, because I want to bring the American people into the White House, literally. I want to make a buffet there for people to come visit. Many of you will want to come visit us at the buffet. We'll have a place where I'll be behind glass, but I'll be able to talk to people personally. I'm not in a second term. No, I'm actually just rolling along. This is a normal life for me. If the American people desire and choose me as their president, then I'm ready to go. If not, I still do a show regardless. It's the nice thing about having an interactive show. There's no wear and tear on me, and there's no cost to do this. So we've been able to build a long-term solution, long time, that never ever stops, simply because we're not greedy. We're not putting a price tag on your event. We don't charge you admission. Hey, Hydroglow, long time no see. Life is good. Just trying to hold on to what we have right now. Pre-apocalyptic times, though. I think a lot of people are feeling it. Yeah, hopefully we'll be having the best apocalypse of our lives, because we still have a great nation, and our currency is strong against the world standard. But we need to start retooling and thinking of the future in a different way. The two-party system is old school. We clearly need a third party now to break things up and get accountability from government. We don't get that now from the two parties. We never will. People like Donald Trump have been on the take all their life. Same with Hillary. And that's the wrong kind of person to put in the White House. They have too much personal, materialistic intent. They can't separate themselves and be objective. We need an objective leader who will be fair and will give people the opportunity that they need, as opposed to the rich people who get all these freebies from our current government. All right, thank you for coming in, everyone. See you tomorrow.
To the time of mechanical hand crank computers, put that into Moore's law.